So, the sun is out. It's a very pleasant evening. The lights are on, just adding a little bit. But it's Ollie Pope on strike to face the first ball. And Tim van Houten to bowl it. Scrambles home to get Surrey's account underway. So Mike Sibley, I remember when he was a test player, but he had a reputation as a guy who grinded out innings. But what do you think he'll be like at the top of the order when I guess they'll want to get off to a flyer? That's the ideal, I suppose.
Yeah, we just touched on the wicket earlier on. I think this won't be too dissimilar to wickets down in Surrey, so we'll be quite familiar with the conditions out there. But yeah, you've got two different styles out there. Yeah, Sibley is to grind out the wickets in two extreme formats here. You know, you've got your Test cricket, and then you've got your shortest form with our T20 domestically. And yeah, at the other end, you've got Ollie Pope, who is a live wire. At the best times, as you see with the first shot he's played there, is quick to get off the mark, pushing the ball to mid-off and scrambling through. And yeah, just two extreme talents, but two contrasting styles completely.
So, Glamorgan, I've got one slip in at the moment. 4 men on the offside saving one, and 2 saving one on the leg side. In the air, just falls short.
Yeah, you can just see Sibley here in the replay. He'll probably show he's just trying to whip the ball and work it to the leg side, and ended up with a leading edge. Unfortunate of him dropping short at mid-off.
So the Glamorgan lineup, we'll bring you that in a moment at the end of the over. Unchanged from their victory on Sunday. On the mark again, Van der Houten, off stump line just outside, keeping it tight.
Yeah, this will suit Van der Houten. I mean, he has been exceptional for Glamorgan since he signed many years ago, but the last sort of 2 or 3 years he's really matured as a bowler and gives very little to the batter. He gives very little on offer, and this wicket will suit him. Bit of pace, a little bit of bounce. With the way he presents the seam, it might be just nipping around a bit. So yeah, he's a big player for Glamorgan in this competition.
Got thick inside edge. Sibley's underway. Well, it's been a big week here at Sapphire Gardens with the International on Sunday. Great to see people coming out again to watch some top-class cricket. Improvisation, it's in the air, and he's got all of that. Spectacular 6, straight over the keeper's head, and there's that live wire 360 player you were talking about, Mike.
Yeah, he's a class act, Ollie Pope. 6th ball of the game, and you know, only 2 runs coming in from so far, an excellent over, but Surrey coming out on top with a bit of improvisation from Ollie Pope, scooping the ball to a short boundary down towards River Taff. Excellent shot, great cricket.
Yeah, impressive skill. And Van der Houten was just so consistent, wasn't he? Just putting the ball on the same spot, and Pope obviously took a gamble and guessed the ball would be there again. And very effective it was. Okay, well, the first look at Hayden Kerr, new signing for Glamorgan, came in May, so he's only been here a couple of weeks. An Aussie, left arm quick, and he's going to open the bowling from the River Taff end.
Sorry, Ash, do you want to run for the team there?
Yeah, go on, let's go through. So the Glamorgan team, it's Kieran Carlson, the captain, opening with Will Smale, then Kellaway, Colin Ingram, Chris Cook and Asa Tribe, Dan Douthwaite, Hayden Kerr, Mason Crane, Tim van der Houten and Andy Gorvin. That's the Glamorgan side. We'll take you through the Surrey card in a minute. Again, Sibley looking to work it on the leg side. That's where he likes to, quite a leg-sided player, as I remember seeing him play previously, likes to work a lot through square and mid-wicket. So yeah, the Surrey team, Dom Sibley and Ollie Pope opening. Jason Roy coming in at 3 rather than opening. Then Sam Curran, Laurie Evans and another Curran, Tom Curran. Then Ollie Sykes, Chris Jordan, Nathan Smith, the Kiwi, Dan Worrell and Youssef Majid. That's their match 11 today. A whisker away from the outside edge. Well, it's been a tidy start so far. Nothing loose or wide.
Yeah, ball just moving away from the right-hander there. That's the thing with left-handers. You're always in the game, always looking to swing the ball back into the right-hander. But if it doesn't, it can, like that delivery then, just scoot across the face of the bat and offering an edge. So yeah, hugely important.
Chris Cook takes a stumble there as the ball came in. Still managed to catch it, I think, while lying on the ground. Yeah, it's just, I think, maybe needed a slightly longer stud. There was a little bit of rain around this morning, so I don't know, maybe there is a little bit of juiciness in the grass. It rained really hard for a couple of hours this morning.
It woke me up, to be honest. I left the window open last night. And yeah, it woke me up. So yeah, there was a bit of rain, but it looks very lush out there, the outfield. It looks great. The ground staff should be very proud of what they've produced.
Short ball. Sibley attempts to do what Pope did and scoop it over his shoulder, but didn't make contact. That was sort of banged into the pitch a bit more.
Yeah, you can understand why he's trying to play this shot here. If you've got your sort of your third man, your fine leg are both up inside the circle, so if he does get any bat on it, it's going to go over those fielders. So risk reward, it's a very sensible shot. It may look a little bit ugly on the screen there, but yeah, if he gets any bat on that, it will be a boundary. At the moment, it's been a very tight one so far. No runs from it.
Short, that's more in the area where Sibley likes, but Glamorgan have got 2 men covering that leg side boundary, and so he can only take 1, so that's a really good opening over from Hayden Kerr. Just the single from it, and Surrey are 9 without loss after 2.
Yeah, that'll settle his nerves. How much cricket you've played, or how much international experience or big bash experience you might have under your belt. Turning up and just going for 1 run off your first T20 over for your new club. Very happy with yourself. Just calm yourself down. Have a bit of a breather down there, a short, fine leg, and be very happy with himself so far.
Yeah, it's played some cricket in the Big Bash for the Sydney Sixers, as Hayden Kerr, so we'll have big match experience from there. But now it's Van der Hoofden from the Cathedral Road end. And Sibley trying to take out the Ollie Pope playbook here, but
yeah, he's trying to scoop that over Kerr, who is up inside the circle, just on the leg side, on the 45. But it worked, didn't it? Got 6 runs last time, so you understand why he's trying it.
So I guess it's just Van der Hoofden can bowl on a length so accurately that he's maybe just trying to make him do something different and change. That was a little bit wider, and Sibley's got all of that one driven over mid-off, and that's his first boundary.
Yeah, confident blow from Sibley. He'll be very happy with the outcome. Obviously, with just 2 outside the inner circle in this power play, anything slightly aerial and hit as well as he has done there will end up going to the boundary, or highly likely going to the boundary.
Certainly the first ball with any sort of width that Van der Hoofden has bowled, and he put it away. That's in the air. Possible chance down the third man. Drops just short of Andy Gorvin down there.
Again, Sibley looking for the scoop, but he's ended up scooping it to one of the only fiddles out in the boundary. So peculiar. If you ended up scooping over the keeper, or again over the fielder inside in the short, fine leg, but Van der Hoofden onto where it's on, getting down nice and low. So he's pushed it wide out off stump, and that's ended up Sibley pushing the ball or scooping the ball possibly to a catching position down there at third man.
Just 1 more to Ollie Pope. He moves on to 8 from just 3 balls. Looking busy. And so, yeah, Dom Sibley, again, as someone who the most I've seen him play is when he was in the Test arena. And there were certainly no scoops when he was playing there. So this is good to see. As an appeal, I think that's going down leg side. Again, I think he's just trying to put Van der Hoosten off that length by coming down a little bit or playing the scoops and the ramps, just trying to get him off that perfect line and length.
Yeah, just a slower ball. Looks like he come up the side of the hand as well. They're smart bowling from Van der Hoosten. Another very good over from here. I think we are still in the power play. Just 6 runs from it so far. Let's see what he ends with.
That's full. Oh, just cleared Dan Douthwaite a mid-on, and that goes away for 4. Van der Hoosten throws his hands in disgust at that one.
Yeah, disappointing finish going for a boundary off the last ball. Van der Hoosten, he's wide of the crease, angling the ball into the stumps. But Sibley was up to task and ended up just lifting the ball just about over mid-on and then raced away to the boundary. Good finish for Surrey. Good over for them in the end.
So, they're not wanting to let these Glamorgan bowlers just settle into line and length. They're definitely coming forward, trying to change it up a little bit and ask the bowler some questions, not just allow them to bowl at length and line.
Change of bowling here, obviously a pre-planned change of bowling here because Kerr not just going for the single from his first over, and we've got Douthwaite coming on for his first over from the River Taff. So obviously a pre-planned move.
So Douthwaite to Ollie Pope. Just take a single. Down to Asa Tribe down there on the deep point boundary.
Yeah, just because we haven't got the wide screen on for you on view here, so just to explain the field to you, you've got a third man up inside the circle. You've got a backward deep point behind square, very much behind square, point just in front of square, cover mid-off, mid-on inside the circle, mid-wicket, man at a deep square and fine leg inside the boundary. So that goes out to one of the 2 fielders, that is our boundary riders, out to
yeah, just 2 fielders allowed out in the power play, which is the first 6 overs of the innings. And Glamorgan have parked theirs at the moment, sort of square on either side of the wicket.
Yeah, power play probably looking at perfect scenario. Perfect scenario if you could take is somewhere in and around 50, something in and around 50 with as few wickets down as possible.
I guess for Glamorgan is, can they get into this batting lineup? They say, isn't it, if you get 3 in a power play, you're in a good position.
Yeah, it really affects the outcome at the back end of your 20 overs, your 3 in the power play, because everyone else behind you has to play a slightly different role and slightly more conservative and can't be as punchy as they would like, knowing the 3 wickets have gone down. And obviously you've wasted that opportunity of having just 2 boundary riders in that power play as well. So yeah, losing wickets really does affect the power play without stating the obvious.
This is in the air. This should be a chance. It's taken. Andy Gorvin's taken it. And Ollie Pope, he's gone for 9. First breakthrough for Glamorgan.
Yeah, big wicket for Glamorgan there, sending Ollie Pope back. We all know how dangerous and creative he can be with his innings. So yeah, his innings comes to an end. He was just came across on the delivery. Hopefully we'll get a replay on that and have a better look at it. But yeah, just lolling the ball up to mid-off and a very comfortable catch there. It sends Ollie Pope back to the boundary. Douthwaite wide of the crease. Ollie Pope looking to work that ball to the lead side and ended up getting a top edge and a comfortable catch coming around at mid-off. Good start for Glamorgan. Dangerous player back in the boundary, back in the pavilion.
Yeah, he hits the pitch hard, does Dan Douthwaite, doesn't he? Hits the pitch hard, and that ball wasn't quite there to drive, and I think he, as you say, hoped it would be into the leg side, and it spooned up to mid-off, where Andy Gorvin took a very comfortable catch. So
another familiar face, Jason Roy.
Yes, well, that's a decent number 3
Yeah,
to come in.
I think it's got a few runs. I think Surrey lost their first game at Somerset. I think
He fell just short of 100
that's right. I
and
think
played very well.
Yeah, 50, 60 balls in about 80 or 90 or something on those sort of lines.
Yeah, he had the lion's share of the whole innings. He probably got 2/3 of it on his own, and didn't really have anyone to stay with him down at the game they played against Somerset down at Taunton on Friday. So Roy, correct. Just pushes that one out to point. Yeah, he looked all his clean striking skills were in evidence. He was whacking them into the balconies of those flats around the edge of the ground at Taunton.
Yeah, and if anyone has played at Surrey Gardens and lucky enough to play at Taunton, where it's completely different wickets, what you're playing here today is a little bit flatter, a little bit skiddier down there. So usually easier to score runs down at Taunton than it is here.
He's off the mark. Tickled it down to fine leg. He's going to run hard and come back for 2, and make it comfortably in the end as Ben Calloway's throw comes in.
Yeah, it's a smart start at Douthwaite, just that 4 runs coming and picking up the very important wicket of Pope. But yeah, they say, you think about international players that they have on show here. For Surrey, we've got Sibley, Pope, Roy, Curran, Chris Jordan, and then you've got in New Zealand Smith and Dan Worrell, originally from Australia. Let's say has played for Australia, but now he qualifies as a British residents, I think. So yeah, there's a lot of very familiar faces, as there always is at Surrey.
And you can list the ones who are missing as well. I mean, that's the thing. There are Jamie Smith with England.
Will Jacks.
Yeah, played well here on Sunday.
Topley in the IPL.
Yeah. An embarrassment of riches.
I'm sure we've missed someone off there. There's possibly another one who should be involved here. Who can we think?
2 more to Sibley. Just working that to leg, as he does so well.
But they do, Surrey, I mean, they've got a rich history of churning out international players and always have done.
And is that they churn them out, or that if you want to play international cricket, Surrey's a terrific place to be, I guess? Probably a bit of both, is it? They've got a very good system.
I think that's the most important thing. They've got a brilliant system down there.
Oh, let's come off the pad. Good scrambling stop behind the wicket. Again, Sibley looking to work that ball outside off stump through the leg side.
Yeah, he's doing it ugly at the moment, Sibley, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is not too comfortable out there at the moment. Oh, sorry, there's not one coming through. Yeah, he doesn't look as fluid as he'd probably like to be at the moment, but he's still there. 14 to his name, so 18 balls. So sorry, going back to your point. I think they've got as of late, so for argument, they just picked the last 10 years.
Oh, that's a good ball from Van der Hoogten. Beats the outside edge of Roy.
To the top of his game at the moment. Hookton, like I say, this ball, he presents to seem beautiful, and he's always, whatever there is in the wicket, he always seems to get something. Roy going down the wicket here and doing a little bit of gardening and suggesting it may have hit something, and that's why it seemed away. He's a very, very important bowler for Glamorgan.
So Sibley and Pope chose to innovate against Van der Hoogten when he'd settled in on that line of length. What will Roy do? Drives this one, but can't get it through the field. Good diving stop by Ben Calloway at point.
So there we go. Here's a start for you. They've had in the last 10 years, just pick the last 10 years, and the history goes on for much, much longer than that. 11 players have made their England debut over the last 10 years, don't they? So 11 players in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And that is 25 in all international. Say you T20, you're 50 over on your Test cricket. Is 25 debutants out of those 11. So, yeah, they produce them in all forms.
Impressive.
Oh, that is disappointing.
He's unlucky there, Roy.
Disappointed, but I think he just would have picked up the single anyway. I think he wasn't enough power to probably beat min on and min off, who are up inside the circle. It probably just would have been a single, even if it missed the stump. So.
Yeah, it was the straightest of straight drives, that one. Bit too straight.
So, yeah, I think Alex Stewart's probably got a lot to do with it. And he runs the ship very tightly down there and producing, obviously, pick very good coaches to work with, very good youngsters. And ID and talent is a big part of that. And I think he's is a huge part of their success in the. I'll just pick the last 10 years. He's been there a lot longer than that, and working as director of cricket down there. And yeah, they've got a very good system which seem to churn out a lot of very, very good cricketers.
And there are a lot of, I guess, top players with lots of international experience who, you know, don't play in the white ball format, who are just sort of championship players as well. So yeah, a very, very impressive squad. And that one's been pulled away. That's going to go all the way. It's 6 from Sibley. That's an area where he likes it.
Van Gooten will be absolutely disgusted with himself there. You want to come into your over quietly, and you want to absolutely get out your over as quietly as possible, and to end with 6, a drag down leg side as well. It's short, and Sibley's pretty much just helped it on his way, and you know, he has middled the ball, it's gone a long way, but he's made it very easy for him at the last ball of the over, so he'd be disappointed. What was turning out to be a very good over. Shane.
So 34 for 1 after 5 overs now, and the switch is back, despite Dan Douthwaite taking a wicket with his first over from the River Taff end. They're not going to let the batters get used to the same bowler, so it's back to Hayden Kerr. Bowled a very, very tight first over, just went for a single. And that's been driven beautifully by Jason Roy. It's all the way, a flat 6, and just a sign there of the effortless power he's got as he puts bat to ball.
Dismissive, wasn't it? Dismissive. Don't bowl there to me. Full. Didn't swing, slipped onto the middle of the bat very comfortably. What a shot.
So pressure back on Hayden Kerr.
Yeah, okay, just dragging that delivery back a little bit. Regretting obviously going a little bit too full. Fielders up inside the boundary, mid on, mid off. Really, Roy just had he powered it flat pretty much, and he just had to lift the ball up. And okay, just dragging that one down, correcting his length. Got his rewards for it.
That's the thing here, those short, straight boundaries, that if you pitch it up, the danger is it just tees it up very nicely.
Change of field here, he's dropped his mid-wicket out to deep mid-wicket and brought his deep point up inside. So 2 men back on the boundary on the leg side. So usually as a batter there, if you've got the 2 fielders that you're allowed out in the power play and they both ended up on the, for argument's sake, the leg side for this instance, you're automatically thinking, right, he's either going to go shorter, or it'll be a slower ball. So there's probably 2 options where is going to happen, because the bowler wants you to hit the ball in that area and ideally going for 1. So you've almost got a bit of an idea what the bowler's thinking in that instance.
So ring of 5 fielders saving 1 on the offside, and those 2 men out deep on the leg side.
There we go. So a short, drag down delivery. 100% part of the plan. We'll get him off strike, give him single. We're happy giving away singles in the power play. Very good bowling.
So just 2 balls left of the power play, unless there's a no ball or a wide. 42 for 1. Surrey. Sibley now on 21. Jason Roy on 9. Both going along at a healthy rate. Short again. Pulled into the leg side. And again, just the 1 as Ben Callaway fields. So, bowling to his field very well here.
Yeah, and it's always been a bit of a plan at Cardiff as well. We all know that at Spire Gardens, hitting square the wicket is very long, or much longer than it is going straight. It's nothing more than, I think it's 55 metres, I think, straight here at Cardiff, pretty much at both ends, but you can probably add another 20 metres on top of that going square of the wicket. So going short and slow into the wicket gives you a chance just going for a single. Here we go.
Same again. Almost challenging Dom Sibley to say, look, can you hit it over those 2 guys' heads and get a 6?
Yeah, and here if we can see the flags here with the wind, you're hitting in as a right-hander with that slower ball short into, you're hitting into the breeze as well, so that'll take meterage off whatever shot you think you can hit to the boundary. So trying to hit a boundary off towards the main pavilion here with the clock on is a very, very big shot.
So the end of the power play, first power play, Surrey 44 for 1 from 6 overs. Mike, how would you think they will be feeling after that?
I think there's a little bit of honours even there, like you said at the top of the show there. With that, I think anywhere between 40, ideally 50, with no loss of wicket. So, you know, getting yourself 44, 1 down. I think both sides be reasonably happy, and both sides think they've got a reasonable platform in the first power play.
So Kieran Carlson has turned to his spinner, his leg spinner, Mason Crane. And of course, 2 more fielders allowed out now, outside that circle. So Crane took 4 wickets in Glamorgan's first match on Sunday. Good to see him back. He's had a little spell away with injury. Been working hard to get back, and so had missed the championship games. But he's back in this format and got off to a great start. Throws that wide. Oh, that has just missed the stumps by a whisker.
How was that? Missed the stumps. And raced away as well. So had salt in the wound as well.
Well, a moral victory. Threw it out wide. We'll see in the replay in a moment. There it was. Threw it out there. It was the googly. And it deceived Roy. But he got lucky in it. Another boundary. He moves on to 14. Oh, that one straight. There's a big appeal for caught behind. Chris Cook just asked the umpire again just to check.
He's asking for LBW there, Chris. He's asking if he was outside the line playing his shot there, or maybe missing from the.
Let's have a look. Yeah,
I think that's a pitched on middle and off.
Oh yes.
Whether it hit anything, not sure.
Roy again dances down, looking to smack that one.
Yeah.
Got a thick inside edge.
Replying in Roy fashion, looking to hit him out the ground.
Yeah.
That's why people want to watch him play. It's a long ball.
He does. So good contest this. So what will Dom Sibley do? Will he look to go leg side, as is his wont? I think it's only going to be one. It's Ben Callaway doing the patrolling down there on the mid-wicket boundary. A little bit shorter.
Yeah, smart over from Crane there. 7 runs coming from it. I think he'd be quite happy. Sorry, 8 runs coming from that. Been quite happy with that as a start. Just talking about I think we had the ball went out to Tribe, and I think it went out to Callaway, out on the sort of leg side, long on, and sort of that cow corner area for Crane's over. And just as captains, they'll want your quickest, best throw-in fielders in the high traffic areas. So these boys here will do a lot of running around, making sure they're in those areas. So you see Callaway, he's run from one end of the field to the other end of the field because he knows that's probably where the ball's going to go. So rather than just I'll walk to the closest next position, which you might do in club cricket for the next over, no. Just the one ball being chipped over them. Roy got a leading edge out to deep point there. Looked like he's just closing the face on a number of shots here. That's why he's leading edge of ball. I think as soon as he starts offering more full face to the ball, you're going to see the ball travelling a long way. But he's just turning his hands on shot. Yeah, going back to my point, they will travel around and do a lot of yardage to make sure in the high traffic areas where the high like the ball is going to end up. And contrast that, there's fielders out there who will be hidden slightly, respectfully.
Yeah.
They're very good fielders, but not as good as others in the team.
So it's Andy Gorvin now, bowling for Glamorgan from the River Taff end.
So you'll have Van der Gooten, who's a very good fielder, but you'll protect him and keep him at sort of fine leg up inside the boundary where the ball isn't going to go to a lot, and he will save his legs because there's a long season and a long games that he's going to play in. So you definitely look after certain players.
So it's the young students down there. This is a race between Callaway and Tribe to get to it.
Again, they're in the same positions they were in the previous over, so they're moving around a lot and the ball will go to them a lot.
Both members of the Cardiff Met team.
Yep.
Tribe and Callaway.
Ingram will be another player they'll look after. Again, a very good fielder, but a backward point at the moment.
Again, Sibley just looking to hit across the ball, isn't he, with the straight back. He has the kind of his hands come wide and he's trying to pull a lot into the leg side here, just trying to work it, that one past short fine leg.
It looks like he's battling against himself at the moment, isn't he? He's not free-flowing by any stretch of the imagination.
Still doing okay though, 25 from 25.
There we go.
That's in the air. I don't think it's going to reach Tribe down there.
Again, clothing the ball to the leg side. It wasn't really where he wanted to go. It definitely wasn't as hard as he'd like to hit it. Weight going slightly back as he's trying to hit the ball. So don't get me wrong, he's not known for being the most elegant of players, but the moment, you're right, he is still there and he is 100% strike rate, but it doesn't look easy at the moment.
So just content to tick the singles over here. Just 5 singles from Andy Gorvin's first over. Surrey move on 50 to 57 for 1 from 8.
And Gorvin isn't the type for Sibley to get himself into a bit of rhythm. He isn't the kind of bowler that you would like to face at the moment, because he mixes his paces up so much. So Gorvin, he's got a lot of slower balls, a lot of different pace, wide of the crease, and he isn't something you can get into a rhythm with. So he isn't the type of bowler that Sibley would be cherishing facing at the moment. But he's battling, he's there. So change of bowling again.
Yeah, rotating it round is Ben Kellaway now. What a season he is having. Has become a fixture in the championship side. One of the star players this season. Has had a huge 100 and lots of other really important contributions with bat and ball. And here he is bowling his off breaks. Yeah, I think Glamorgan hope that Ben Kellaway will be one of the stars of their side for years to come. Very talented cricketer. So a good test now against 2 experienced batters.
Got him.
It's in the air.
Got him.
Just make sure on the boundary. Andy Gorvin did that very calmly, and Glamorgan have their second wicket. It's Dom Sibley who's hit it down to deep square leg from the bowling of Ben Kellaway. He has an immediate impact, and Glamorgan take their second wicket. Surrey now 58 for 2.
Yeah, it'd be disappointing there, Sibley. He will know how big these boundaries are on the leg side. And he always just spooned the ball out. The fielder didn't even move at all. And Gorvin, all he had to do was make sure he didn't step the foot onto the boundary rope. And that's where he asked the question to the umpire before walking off. So, again, he's looking to lift that ball. You need a bit more on it than that. Going very close, kept on his toes, didn't he?
He did. His heels may have just been over the rope. Of course, here it's a rope and not those boundary triangles, which is probably, that might have just made the difference.
Save him there, just on his toes and kept himself away from the rope. Smart. Craig just lobbed the ball up there, got himself away from the rope and got his momentum going back in.
Yeah, shades of the ballerina there, up on his tiptoes on the balcony. On the boundary, sorry. But did a very good job. That's the sort of thing they practice these days, isn't it? The fielders all the time. They're practicing all of that.
That's an easy catch. That's
stuff.
If he dropped that, he would be absolutely distraught if he dropped that. So very easy. Really soft dismissal there from Sibley of a trying innings from him.
So Sam Curran, the new batsman.
See, I'm trying to equate the 50 over match that happened here the other day for what we've gone, because we're on the same wicket, and that's why I'm talking about that one as opposed to this T20. There was no one really who came in and blitzed it all round the park. The hundreds that were scored in there from an England player and a West Indies player were measured and controlled, and there was a lot of thought that went to the shots they played. So it'd be interesting, even though a lot of runs were scored, 6.
Yeah, there were phases. I mean, I was here watching with my family, and they seemed to go in flurries. They were, I think, Root hit 3 or 4 boundaries in and over a couple of times, and then just was content to work it round when they were.
But a lot of his sixes came in after he scored 100.
Yeah.
He scored that last 50 of his very quickly.
Yeah.
And he accelerated when he wanted to accelerate, but it was measured. So that's what I say. There's no one here. No one looks comfortable. There's 61 for 2 from, 8.1 overs. Sorry, 8.5 overs. And no one's looked comfortable batting out there at the moment.
So far, so good. That's Jason Roy.
So we're almost halfway through the inning. So I think I'm just thinking of shots. You had Roy had a dismissive shot over the top for 6. Sibley got one over mid-off.
We had the scoop from Pope early on.
Scoop is very little to do with the wicket, more to do with his skill levels. But I'm just thinking actual wickets. I'm thinking a par score here at a winning par score at Sophia Gardens in T20 is, I think, 145, give or take a run. I think that's a winning par, not par score because it's irrelevant, because you could have really low scores. So a winning par score is 145. So does that slightly come down for the wicket they're playing on? Because it is slightly different. Well, there's a lot more pace than normal.
Yeah.
A lot more carry than normal. So does that change up or down? I'm not sure. Only time will tell at the end of this. But they'll have that on the back of their mind. 145. Surrey will know that score, and that will be a target for them.
So switching up again, Dan Douthwaite, bowling to Jason Roy. He just drives straight down the ground. Interesting again, just to look at the field placings here. Sam Curran now. So 3 fielders, deep on the leg side, deep square mid-wicket, and at long on. Fine leg going back too. So
they're giving them a leg side. Everyone is out on the boundary. The full fielders on the leg side are all out on the boundary. So what does that mean the bowler's going to do? Slightly short, slightly into the leg side. Ball gets worked for 1. That's a win for Dan Douthwaite. 100% is bowling to his field there. Looks like we may have a similar sort of field to Roy. I think the only difference is the Van der Gooten is staying up inside on the leg side, up inside on the short, fine leg, but you have a deep square, sort of a deep mid-wicket cow corner and a long on.
It's a big, powerful man. Dan Douthwaite hits the pitch hard, but he floats that one up, just as I say that, it's a full toss. And I think he feels slightly aggrieved. That ball didn't land back in his hands. I think it took Jason Roy by surprise as well, on what he was expecting, and he sort of bunted it back down the pitch.
Yeah, it looked like a slower ball then. That came out as a full toss.
Didn't come out quite right, yeah.
That's possibly why Roy mistimed it.
So lots of leg side cover. Sam Curran on strike. Tempts him.
Just the one over shoulder height bouncer for the boundary. Used well. Again, good carry through to Cook, keeper there. This looks like a very good wicket.
So leg stump line there, Midland leg, and just push back down into the gap for a comfortable single. So they're certainly restricting
it's the full
the big shots and the boundaries.
So big ball here for Dan Douthwaite. 100% he'll take a single from it. Don't want to receive. So he'll take a boundary. This would wreck this very good over so far. So slight change in the field. The fine leg is going back to the boundary, bringing mid off up inside the circle. Possibly a slower ball. Something to work it to the leg side. Slightly back or length, got away with it. Just a single, 5 off. Very good over from Dan Douthwaite.
Yeah, it's been tidy stuff from him so far. 1 wicket to his name as well.
Just feels Glamorgan are just taken a bit of a hold on here in the last 4 overs. It feels like Glamorgan are controlling the game.
Yeah.
There'll be a flurry of boundaries, but very few boundaries in the last four overs. And Crane has bowled just his 1 over, just 8 runs coming from it. Kellaway came on and bowled quite tightly, picking up the important wicket as Sibley as well. I just feel Glamorgan are on top here, and they'll want to keep it that way for foreseeable future.
So with the likes of Roy and Curran at the wicket, things can change very quickly if they just go on a little run and start hitting boundaries. So Glamorgan will need to keep this tight. Sweeps, a bit of work for Gorvin to do, and he can't make it. He's hit that really hard.
It's a wonderful shot, that, isn't it? Looks like just drifting down to the leg side there from Crane. It's always difficult as a bowler, and that first ball goes for 4 runs. We see in the replay here. all just slipping down leg side. Roy helping it on the way, and because of the angle going down leg side, he was able to beat the man down at deep square, who's actually moved further behind square, trying to cover those angles. Again, drifting down the leg side, but as that field has been slightly moved, just going for the single instead of the boundary.
Maybe a tiny bit straight that one, wasn't it? But yeah, very similar sort of position. So adjustments for the left-hander.
So here we go then, Ash, right? We talked about Surrey, how many international players they've got, and they've produced a lot in the last 10 years. I would say we can go further back than that, and it'll be exactly the same picture, and how many debutants and what they produce, and the wonderful overseas players they've had. And this is obviously a marquee comp domestically, the T20.
Yeah.
And it's very big. When was the last time they won it?
Surrey. It's a good question.
Ooh, that could be a wind, yeah.
I sense you may know the answer.
I do know the answer, that's why I ask a question. I wouldn't ask a question, don't know the answer. Otherwise it wouldn't be a very good conversation.
Well,
go on.
I suspect then from your rather smug look that it's quite a long time ago.
Yes, it is quite a long time ago.
Okay, just keeping it to the singles at the moment.
Can I give you the captain of the team to help you?
Go on then. This will place it in the right era.
Adam Hollyoak.
All right.
Where is he now? Actually, where's Adam Hollyoak now?
So we're talking late 90s, are we? Was that?
I don't think the competition was run in the late 90s.
Of course,
I
yeah.
think the competition started in
2000.
2001, possibly. 2000,
Okay.
2000, I think it may have started.
Well, maybe it was one of the first two editions, was it?
Well, I don't know. Are you telling me or asking me?
I'm asking you.
Yes.
You can see I don't know.
Yes, okay. It was 2003. But you think with all their talent and resources they've had, and everyone wants to win this competition.
Just evades.
Again, Craig.
Further down there.
Straying down the leg side there, Curran helping it on the way. A dive in. Hand of Van der Gooten, I think it was.
Yeah, I thought it was Van der Hoesten, but yeah.
Just parried. It was either Van der Gooten or it was.
No, it's Hayden Kerr. I think it was.
I think
Hayden
Kerr
Kerr.
slowed the ball there, but coming back for two. So yeah, good over from Surrey, just trying to get a little bit of a grip on this game and swing a little bit of momentum back to them. Glamorgan have been in control of this for the last at least the 4, 5, 6 overs. They've been bowling very well on field and backing up in the field as well. Govin coming back in on, he'll bowl his licorice, all sorts of different slower balls and angles, and trying to keep Surrey in their place. So yeah, 2005. I thought I looked that stat up.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
that's
a long, and it doesn't instinctively. It's not what you'd think with the riches they have, and particularly the riches in white ball cricket that they have.
Yes.
So Andy Govin, and that one's gone. He's put that one away. That is big. It's long, and that's in the river.
That's river taff. That looked like a very easy 5-iron. He's just picked out of his bag there and lofted Govin back over his head.
He's
dismissive again, wasn't it?
It was right in the slot at a pace that he likes.
Just on the green.
Just got over our cameraman's head as well. So he maybe might need a crash helmet on if he bowls too many more in that area. Yeah, very clean strike, wasn't it? Makes it look easy.
Very easy.
So much power.
This is the time to play Surrey, isn't it? You're off the back of a win. Good win against Middlesex. Surrey without many of their star players. Many of their star players, like you say, a number of them in the England squad at the moment, a number of them in the IPL.
So I remember Jamie Smith playing in this fixture last year, just before he got picked for England, and all the talk was that they were going to pick him for the Test side. And yeah, he's really established himself, hasn't he, as an international cricketer in that period.
It moves fast, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, this
Full again. Didn't get all of it, and there's a wicket. It's well taken by Asa Tribe down on the long off boundary, and Andy Gorvin strikes, gets his revenge. And Sam Curran goes for only 7. Surrey now 84 for 3. Midway through the 12th over. So good breakthrough, that one. A batter who could cause some damage if he stayed around for very long. But well bowled by Andy Gorvin.
Curran really disappointed, shaking his head as he's walking off there. Split finger, slower ball from Gorvin there. With that, he's done him in the flight, and all Curran ended up just the bat ball slipping off the face of his bat, looking to pull that over to the leg side, but slipping off the face of the bat and chipping the ball to Tribe at the long off. Very comfortable catch there, straight to the field. That's why he's disappointed. He's looking to drag that over to the leg side, but he's been done in the flight. Canny bit of bowling from Gorvin there. Big wicket.
So 84 for 3, Surrey, and the new batsman Laurie Evans.
So Laurie Evans, I think he started his career at Warwickshire. People are shouting at the screen here and telling him right. I think he started at Warwickshire. I think he ended up at Sussex, and he's been at Surrey for a number of years now. Not a dissimilar player to Roy. Very sweet timer of the ball.
So Roy, 38 from 27, going nicely now. Just has gently got into his work. So just a single that time. Lots of opportunities to rotate the strike, with no fielder on the leg side, saving one apart from the short fine leg. Tim van Hoften there. So, but they'll maybe be looking for boundaries. It's in the air again. Can Tribe get there? Oh. He can. That's a brilliant catch. It's Asa Tribe again, and another wicket for Andy Gorvin. This time it's Laurie Evans who's gone for 1. And how important an over could this be for Glamorgan?
Yeah, interesting shot here. I mean, there's always been 9 runs have already come from the over, so there's a lack of experience from Evans there. I mean, if you just go for a single, get 10 out, you've lost a wicket already. But to lose 2 really important players, Curran and Evans, who are match winners in their own right, both cheaply getting out, just needless from what would have been a reasonable, as far as runs are concerned, a good over for Surrey. But to lose two wickets and also go for 9 runs in it just seems senseless to me.
It's a good catch. He had to do a bit of work there, Tribe. Had to sprint in from the boundary, about 10 yards to get there, and in the end made it comfortably. So I wonder whether it's just Andy Gorvin's speed, that there's just something in a batter's head that they think because he's slower and a medium pacer, he's hittable, and there's just something.
Yeah, I think he's a skillful bowler. I think he mixes his pace up really well.
So it's Ben Callaway back from the Cathedral Road end.
I think it's the kind of, you could almost force things against him needlessly, and you'll miss time balls. So if you're going aerial with somebody who changes their pace up a lot, it's high risk.
So really mixing the bowlers up is Kieran Carlson. There have not been many who've bowled 2 in a row. Callaway now choosing to come round the wicket to Tom Curran. And slides one past the outside edge. So Tom Curran not currently in the international setup for white ball cricket for the one-day international squad. Oh, and has he got a little edge on that? We'll see what the umpire signals. It's a good stop down there, well chased by Van der Hoften. Stops a boundary. It's buys.
Oh, I think Cookie there as well.
He's
disappointed. He's got the double teapot on there.
Trying to tell the umpire there was a little tickle on it or
just
something.
Give him the runs. I'm happy if he has runs. The batter's happy if he's had runs. Let's just move on.
I think about 2, but Dan Douthwaite's quickly in. Strong arm. Fizzes it in over the stumps. So why do you think he's coming round the wicket here, Mike? Again, is it just to try and encourage them to hit into those leg side spaces?
Yeah, he's trying to narrow the angle down. That is a big 6 down to the leg side there. So if he wants to take it on, he'll have to pull the ball a long way. So there, that angle there, he's coming wide of the crease, round the leg side, angling the ball into leg stamp, and he's hoping the ball will either go where it has done to long on or maybe to that deep mid-wicket. Worst case scenario, he'll sweep the ball down to deep square. He's cutting his boundary options off. So Curran there, he's looking to go to the leg side. Ooh, Roy's not coming back for 2 there.
No. He had to get back into his ground quickly there.
Roy, no, he's built for comfort at the moment. He's not there for for 2s and 3s. That's for sure.
Curran was definitely up for it. If he was coming back, Curran was already on his way, but decided not to.
His brother at the other end, maybe.
Yeah.
Not a Roy.
No. So, 92 for 4 after 13, so 7 overs left. And again, this game could go either way, but you would have to say Glamorgan do have a measure of control. The ball is not flying everywhere. There's the odd boundary going, as you would expect in this format, but there's not been flurries of boundaries.
No,
it's just the odd one here and there.
Glamorgan ahead for me at this stage.
So Hayden Kerr, the Australian, back on from the River Taff end.
Again, no, right field's in the right positions. Kellaway, one of their better fielders out there. High traffic area, deep mid wicket. Never going to be 2 there. Again, as we say, slightly back of length, leg side, protecting your boundaries.
Yeah, the senior pros of Ingram and Van der Hoogten are sort of saving one at third man and fine leg. Maybe a bit less running to do. Works this one again. Down to Kellaway.
Yeah, Tom, slightly different style to his brother, Sam Curran. More workmanlike, and I'm pleased I'm not being disrespectful, because he's a very, very talented cricketer. Clean hitter of the ball, strong hitter of the ball, but not quite the elegance of his brother. But maybe the right man for this, where there is a bit of work to be done and there is a bit of hustle and to get themselves in front. Possibly he's the right man out there at the moment for Surrey.
So only going at 7, Surrey at the moment. It's in the air, but doesn't carry. Dan Douthwaite doing the fielding down there.
I think this is the thing, because with 4 wickets down and Roy's in, he's doing well. He's the wicket to get out at the moment, 42 from his 31. He hasn't got many boundary options if the ball's being bowled back of a length. What he possibly could do is look to ramp over the top of the keeper. It's a high risk shot for the situation of the game. He is so important to Surrey at the moment.
Swings into the leg side. So might be 2. That split the 2 fielders there, I think. Comfortable in the end. It's Kellaway again doing the fielding down there.
I think if there were 2 batters out there at the moment, in and around on 40 or 50, I think they'd probably be more expansive. One of them would be more expansive. It's very difficult, as we seem to come in and go straight away and be quite expansive, but it isn't the case. And Roy will be biding his time here, thinking, right, 6 and a bit overs to go here. For 2 overs of Roy being very destructive could swing the game.
It really could. Drives this one straight. He's hit it well, but it's been well cut off down there. It's Asa Tribe again, working hard.
Roy just saying to Karen that he couldn't hear him coming back for the second.
So 7 from the first 5 balls of this over. 3 singles and a couple of 2s.
What is Roy thinking here? Single, or is he looking to finish with a flurry?
Stick or twist. What's he going to do? Just decides to work it again. Again, he's placed it quite well. The point where Tom Curran, I think, thought there might be 2. But well fielded down there on the boundary again. And that's the 100 up for Surrey. At the end of the 14th over, they're 100 for 4. Jason Roy now just 3 away from a half century. And Tom Curran on 4. So good to see a good crowd in here, enjoying seeing these big name cricketers here at Sapphire Gardens.
Returning to bowl from the Cathedral Road end.
And another change. There's Kieran Carlson talking to his leg spinner, Mason Crane. Figures of no wicket for 18 so far from his 2 overs. The wicket takers Andy Gorvin with a couple, and Dan Douthwaite. Ben Kellaway's also got 1. So it's Crane. There's an appeal as Roy sweeps. Didn't really make any proper contact on it.
Maybe a bit of glove.
Looks like it.
A bit of glove.
So, Tom Curran, what will he decide to do? Is it time to attack, to take a risk?
Oh,
there's another appeal.
Slipping down for me.
Yeah, I think you're right there. We've got the perfect view from us today, and that was...
I don't think Cook helped him there as well. You can possibly see in the replay Cook moving himself down leg side, off he goes, and then he's pushed himself back in. Yeah, Crane obviously thinks it's a bit closer than what we think. But yeah, you're right, we've got a great view of the moment, right over the top of the umpire.
Googly.
Kieran Carlson sat on the edge of the inner circle. They're happy to give Roy the single, get him off strike. Get Curran facing as many deliveries as you possibly can for the next 5.5 overs. Oh, that's
big appeal. That one is closer.
Oh.
But
Crane.
umpire Shanmugam not interested.
Crane scratching his head. Still trying to not go on the wrong side of the umpire.
Let's have a look. This did look much closer than the previous one.
Oh, possibly missing, possibly.
There was an umpire's call. Maybe it's just clipping the off stump, but the margin of error, the umpire wasn't sure.
Oh, this could be 2. Oh,
Crane's going to field off his own bowling. Oof. And well chased by Mason Crane. Putting a shift in there with a very quick 20-yard sprint to field off his own bowling and prevent the second. So Jason Roy, 49, not out. We'll be looking to see if he can get to that milestone with the last ball of Mason Crane's 3rd over. And there it is.
Very good set.
So 50 for Jason Roy. It has had some special shots in it, but it hasn't felt like him at his fluent best. That's probably because Glamorgan have bowled well and not allowed him to get away. We've seen the power as he's hit a couple of balls hard and straight and a couple of very powerful sweep shots as well, but by his standards it's felt quite measured, even though his rate is pretty good. It's just 37 balls for his 50.
Yeah, what I'm really impressed with Glamorgan so far in their bowling performances, if they've gone too full, it's been hit over the top. If they've gone too full, it's been quite an easy shot over the top. Very good shots, we've been chipped over the top. Fine. Their length has been exceptional. There's been very few short balls that are short enough to be pulled for 4 or 6, but just that awkward length of, it's on the back foot, but I'll work it to the lead side and I'll give away a single. So I think the length of bowling has been very, very good so far.
Yeah, interestingly, only 2 4s and 2 6s in that 50, which you'd expect to have a few more from a player like Jason Roy. So that gives you a sense of it. He's kept the singles ticking over, but I think Glamorgan have agreed to accept that and let him have those singles rather than give him anything that he can hit powerfully to the boundary. But still, he's there, 50. Key man facing Dan Douthwaite now. Back of a length from Douthwaite. And fields off his own bowling. Good dive. Hitting that back of a length.
Yeah, see Roy trying to go him out front foot, and he's thinking short boundy very straight, but again, very good length.
Sun's out here. It's a lovely evening in Cardiff. Roy has swung that one. That could go all the way, and it has. It's 6. And just shows the effortless power. He picked that one up from just outside off stump or on off stump and swung it away over square leg.
Yeah. Just helping it on his way. Length was slightly off, but more about line there, wasn't it? And like you say, he makes it look so easy, but he's hit that a long way. Yeah, line slightly off from Douthwaite. Wonderful shot.
Fuller. And squirted away into the leg side. They just take the single. Roy moves on to 57. Surrey 112 for 4 now. We're halfway through the 16th over. So only just over 4 overs to go. The run rate 7.23. So what score would Surrey be targeting here, Mike? That's in the air. Chance. Gone. It's Mason Crane with the catch. And it's Tom Curran who departs from the bowling of Dan Douthwaite. It's his second wicket. And Glamorgan's 5th. Surrey now 112 for 5.
So I don't think Tom Curran wanted this ball to go in the air. Because he's not really looked to hit it all the way. There's a long boundary there. So you're going to go a bit like Roy in the previous deliveries, 2 previous deliveries. He definitely wanted to hit that ball for 6. It looked to me like Tom just wanted to chip the ball in that area to get Roy on strike. We'll have a look, and yeah, he's chipped it, just soft missile. Very disappointed. I think he just wants to get Roy back on strike, and unfortunately for him, he's just chipped that ball up really softly. Yeah, shame. Going back to your question, I think they'll be happy anything over 140 at the moment, and I think with 5 wickets down as well.
Yes, if they get 7s, it would be about what are in that 140 area, wouldn't it? If they get the current rate, I think.
I think that'll be their first target. Will be a 140, and hopefully they'll have a bit of a flurry and end up with a 150 something.
Yeah,
and I think that would be a par score, nothing more than that.
The important thing that Jason Roy is there. He's now will be partnered by Ollie Sykes, wearing 54 on his back. Drives through the covers this time. I haven't seen much of that. Just a single. He's off the mark. But I think all eyes on Jason Roy now. He's got himself in. Got himself to a half century without really cranking himself into 4th or 5th gear. And that, I think, is what Surrey fans are hoping that he will now do. You think he is the key man. If he can stay there and face most of the bowling, they've got a chance of getting north of 150.
2, surely. You've got to run there. Yeah.
So interesting. They're throwing to Jason Roy's end. Obviously think he's going to be a little bit slower. It's a try.
You're being kind.
You
know he's slower. You're being kind now, Ash. Come on.
That's obviously the plan.
But yeah, keeps him off strike as well, so not a bad thing for Glamorgan.
So don't forget, there's another blast match here on Friday night when the visitors are Essex. Be great if you could come along. Tickets are on sale on the Glamorgan Cricket website. Should be an excellent game. Lots to do, lots of fun for the kids, great food and drink options as well. So why don't you start your weekend by coming down to Sapphire Gardens to watch some top-class T20 cricket. So Mason Crane into his final over, gives that one a bit of flight. Squirts away off a thick edge.
shot.
Swings into the leg side. I think he's got all of that. That's big. That is into the front row of the seats. That's a big hit from Roy.
That is huge from Roy.
And again, it looks so effortless, doesn't it?
Doesn't
It's just of a gentle swish.
Doesn't he? Crane, a little bit of flight on that one. Roy, eyes opened up. Beautiful sweep slog.
Great power. Lovely timing. Goes again, but Crane had thrown that a little bit wider.
Yeah, a little bit wider, a little bit flatter. Yeah, just looking for a couple of boundaries and over. That's what they're after, isn't it? Roy's your man. He's got to bat out there for the 20 overs.
So you think Sykes' job is probably just to get down the other end.
Oh,
And that's what he's going to do.
well bowled. Fooling Sykes there, spun a bit more than he thought he was going to be. Trying to give himself a little bit of room and cramping the batsman up. Very, very good bowling.
So Roy will hit against the spin. He won't mind that if he's got to go leg side to the cuts this time. That was again wide of the off stump and turning away. Just takes one. That's well bowled. Kind of dictating where he bowled it there, where the ball could go. And they want to see the ball go square of the wicket rather than straight, I think. So Crane to Sykes. Content to take the single. Ace of Tribe does the fielding.
Yeah, good over for Surrey. Good over, so down to Roy's 6, obviously, but yeah, picked up the singles in and around that. That's what I'm talking about. I think a couple of times they've had good overs, Surrey, sort of 8s, 9s, 10s, and they've lost wickets within that. Looking to stretch where really get your singles, pick your singles up. Don't go too early. Roy, hopefully for Surrey, is timing his innings beautifully and get them into a position where possibly, if he stays there, they'll get at least another 10 from each of these overs, pushing up to a 156 or something along that. So that'll be their sort of target. But if Roy goes in the next few deliveries here, I can't see them get anywhere near a 155. So Roy is the absolute key to Surrey and getting some sort of score that will be competitive.
So Mason Craig's figures: 4 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 33. And the ball's been thrown to Tim van der Hoosten. He's got 1 over left to bowl. Been quite expensive so far by his standards. And that was a full delivery. It's been hit in the air. There's a chance. Oh, and it's been put down.
Oh,
and it's gone
no.
for 4.
Was that Doubtfight? Possibly coming out the sun there. I think that may have been his issue.
It is down Douthwaite,
Yeah,
I think. It seemed to keep going, didn't it? I think it was quite hard to judge. It did just seem maybe got the wind and just kept going and kept going and kept going.
Never really set himself and stretched towards the end. Unfortunately, him parrying it over 4 runs. I think he's looking to the sinking sun there. I could be wrong.
Throw it wider this time. Just a single.
It's a big strike from Sykes. It's a long way to the boundary down there, isn't it?
It was. Dan Douthwaite did have to sprint, run to his right to kind of get there, and the ball was in the air for a long time, wasn't it?
I thought he may have had enough time to get underneath it, but never really settled himself underneath it and ended up just
Seemed to kind of keep going and going a bit more than he thought,
Yeah.
and so he didn't quite judge it and ended up having to throw a hand up. It's a wide Yorker, well bowled. Dot ball's valuable at this stage.
Yeah, I think people are sensing in the crowd here just a round of applause if that dot ball. I think realising how important Roy is and how dangerous he can be in this innings. There's still 2.5 overs to go and people are clapping dot balls and they're into it.
That's the challenge. Can the Glamorgan bowlers keep Jason Roy relatively quiet in these final overs? It's in the air again. He's hit it. That's well fielded by Ben Kellaway. Diving goalkeeper style stop. And keeps Jason Roy to just 2. Mason Crane down there at deep square leg. It's Ben Kellaway at deep mid wicket. They're the ones who are probably going to be the busiest, you'd think. Hits it straight. Don't think he's got all of it. And it's gone. It's Tom Bevan on the field as 12th man. Made that catch very comfortably.
Sounded very clunky off the bat there. I think it may have hit a toe of the bat. Possibly a slower ball for that reason. Delphoi picking up the very dangerous Roy. Not what Surrey wanted at all.
Big moment for Glamorgan. That means that, well, the potential damage that Jason Roy could have inflicted in the last 12 to 15 balls of this match, well, he can't do that now. He's got to go back to the pavilion for a very good 69. He never really seemed to get out of third or fourth gear and try to fetch one from outside of off stump to hit it straight, but just didn't connect it properly.
Wide yaw, dragging that ball, but yeah, just the bottom of the bat, the toe of the bat, and you know, we all know it's a very short boundary up there. And
good bowling, but another good striker in to replace him.
Very good bowling.
Chris Jordan, white ball specialist cricketer, known more for bowling at the end, but he does hit a long ball as well. So maybe it's down to him and Sykes now to get Surrey over the 150 mark. 133 for 6 at the moment with 13 balls left. And that's the end of an eventful over from Tim van der Hoesten. He has finished with figures of 1 for 36 from his 4 overs. But crucially has the big wicket of Jason Roy, which in the game of fine margins, that could be a very important wicket.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, 13 deliveries left in the game without Jason Roy absolutely helps when, you know, you can change games within 2 overs. So yeah, what possibly could have been up and around a 155 plus, which is I say competitive score. It's not a big score, but down here we know that a 145 is an average winning score, so slightly above that. But I think Surrey desperately scrapping around now in the next 2 overs to get themselves up into the 140s, somewhere near the 150s. It's a harder task without Roy. So,
trying to protect the straight boundaries here is Andy Gorvin now from the Cathedral Road end. And straight away, Chris Jordan looking to try and target that boundary, but driving straight. Only one this time.
Yeah, Glamorgan winning with just singles coming from the last 2 overs. You feel like it's a small win, just a single coming from each delivery.
So Glamorgan really backing Andy Gorvin at this stage of the game. 2 for 15 so far. Slower ball.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, brilliant from Gorvin. That is class. And Chris Jordan has gone.
Jordan looking for a quick single there. Bat pad end up at mid-wicket. Gorvin quick to react, picking the ball up and bullseye with his throw. Jordan stranded in no man's land.
He didn't panic, that was the thing. He realised he had a little bit of time, set his sights and made no mistake. It's almost as the game just slowed down, as everything went quiet for a second, when he just stopped, assessed the situation, had a look, and he didn't miss.
I think Jordan just had a bad angle of this. Obviously, as a batter, you can see how close the ball ends up to Gorvin, so there was never a single there, but fortunately for Jordan, he was very keen to get on the other end, and yeah, off he goes, not really knowing what's happening. And
yeah.
Good night, Irene. Oh, here we go. Nope.
So Nathan Smith is the new batter for Surrey now. 135 for 7. With just 9 balls left now of this Surrey innings. Glamorgan definitely very much in this game. They'll be pleased, I think, with the way they've managed the last few overs, taking some important wickets. They're right into the tail now.
Two. Yes, good running from Surrey. Very rare 2 runs out to Kieran Carlson out there in the boundary. Been very smart in the field tonight, Glamorgan. Got their angles right with their fielding, got their distance away from the wicket. Hard to come by tonight runs. Again, like a slower ball from Gorvin, just cutting his fingers across the ball there. Very difficult, he said earlier, very difficult to set yourself. And
because in some ways the speed looks so innocuous from someone that's had a long one, but the skills and the different variations, it's very hard for batters. He's got a lot of that
big
one.
enough.
It has just made it by about a foot. 6 then for Smith. It's a late counter-attack, and Andy Gorvin shakes his head. He can't believe that boundary has rather spoilt his figures.
Yeah, that delivery alone has turned it into a Surrey over rather than a very good Glamorgan over.
So he's got one more over left as Andy Gorvin. As we go into the final over, 144 for 7, Surrey. And it's going to be Dan Dalthwaite.
It's interesting.
Involves it.
It's interesting this stage in one-day cricket, whether it's T20 or 100 or 50 over cricket. That last couple of overs takes momentum your way. So if Surrey finished it very well with a flurry of boundaries, it's amazing what confidence you can take from that the second half of your game when you've got the ball in your hand. So
Dalthwaite to Sykes. Goes, that's high. Who's under it? It's taken. It's the captain, Kieran Carlson. And another vital wicket for Glamorgan to slow this late charge from Surrey. And a 3rd wicket for Dan Dalthwaite.
Yeah, again, good lengths. Good lengths, wasn't full enough, hit the ball over the top, trying to manufacture something to the short boundary over the head of the bowler. But unfortunately for him, ball going straight up in the air. So good length, slicing across the ball. Straight up in the air, and a very comfortable catch for Carlson there. So yeah, we're talking about momentum. This could be the momentum swinger and what Glamorgan will need going into the second half. So it works both ways.
Well, psychologically, to keep them to less than 150, that would be good.
It's huge.
And it's Dan Worrell now, who's joined Nathan Smith. To Worrell having a look again. Having a look on the leg side, you'd think. Or possibly straight. Drives in the air, slices off the edge. But down to deep 3rd man. So it's only a single. Glamorgan will take that.
I think that's the first ball Ingram's fielded tonight.
Yeah, he's had a very quiet night, but we barely noticed him. I'm sure we'll notice him a bit more with the bat.
Yeah.
Well, he's up now into the ring. Again, just the single. Cannon's into the pads. Good stuff from Dan Dalthwaite. A wicket and 2 singles.
Desperately searching for a boundary here, and then looking for something. Good bowling from Dalthwaite. Wide of the crease, angling the ball in, slightly change the lengths. Has got the slow ball at the back of the hand as well.
But it's got to be a big hit to clear anything over the leg side. The only leg side area of boundary that's vacant is you can get it over short fine legs head, but that requires a difficult angle, and instead he opens the face on the offside. Just another single again. This is good stuff from Dan Dalthwaite.
Yeah, it's interesting. Worrell, he's given himself room to the offside, but actually the shot you probably want is on the leg side. So Dalthwaite's angled the ball in, leg sand, but really if you some sort of bat on that, you've very good chance of beating the fielder up inside the boundary on the leg side. So yeah, strange way Worrell's thinking there.
So Nathan Smith on strike from New Zealand. That's well bowled. Wide Yorker.
Very well bowled.
Gets a hand on it too. Prevents the single. Appreciated by the crowd here at Glamorgan. So 147 for 8. One ball left. And psychologically, and for lots of other good reasons, Glamorgan will be desperate this one doesn't go to the boundary. Keep them below 150 if they can. So what are you guessing? What's he going to bowl here? Mike? Stick to the plan.
Yeah, wide of the crease, back of a length. Oh, he's gone full Yorker. Very well bowled.
They're going to look to come back for 2. That's actually very well run. Very well run by Dan Wall. Gets back for 2. But they have restricted Surrey to less than 150. So the Surrey innings concludes at the end of 20 overs. They have made 149 for 8. And the star of the show, undoubtedly Jason Roy, with a very well-made 69 from 47 balls. Didn't get much help from anyone else. Dom Sibley hung around a little bit at the top for 26. But then it was piecemeal really after that. No one could really stay with Roy. And when they got him out with a couple of overs to spare, well, the fizz went out at the end of the Surrey innings. So a good bowling performance for Glamorgan. I think they can walk off feeling pleased with the way they've managed to control that and take 8 Surrey wickets as well. Pick of the bowlers, Dan Douthwaite, 3 for 23. Excellent stuff from him. A wicket 2 for Tim van der Hoogten, 2 for Andy Gorvin, and 1 from Ben Kellaway. So they're the fall of wickets. They were spread quite evenly through the innings, weren't they? Glamorgan took wickets at regular intervals in the end, and I think that is one of the things that did help.
Yeah, for me, Glamorgan in control here halfway through this game. Half I'm thinking, right, just look at 6 and over, okay? You're thinking, oh, you're going to end up at 120. So that I'd be thinking as a batter. No one from Surrey, not even Roy, went out there and said, right, this looks really easy, and then go boundary, boundary, boundary. It didn't happen. He had the odd big shot. He had a nice 6 over the top, slightly early on in his innings. He picked a couple up when he was on about 40, 50, which is well into his innings, but no one from the off went out there and said, this is a very easy wicket to bat on, and I'm going to make it look very easy. No one did that. So, as a Glamorgan batter going in there, now I'm thinking, right, I need to accumulate runs rather than go out and blitz it, because if Glamorgan don't get bowled out here, they will win the game. So that's how I'd be approaching this innings, thinking, right, how can I accumulate? Obviously, we're looking at the boundaries on top of this, but how can I accumulate? How can I be really smart in how I get my runs? If you do that, Glamorgan will win the game.
So just 7.5 runs and over needed. 150, the magic number for Glamorgan to win this game. And yet, at the halfway stage, I think Glamorgan will be feeling pleased with that. They're definitely in with a chance, because you never quite know how things can go.
Yeah, there were very few overs during that innings there that Surrey took control of, and the game got away. There definitely wasn't back-to-back overs where Surrey took charge of the game. They may have had the odd 10 and the odd 11 in there, but the next over was
followed up. There were no 16s and 20s, were there?
And the next over was followed up by a 3, 4, 5 or whatever it might be. Yeah, there's very few back-to-backs. Oh, sorry, there we are. So you've got
I think 11 was the biggest one.
5th and the 6th, you've got 10 and 11 there, but there's very few going, there we go, maybe the 16th and 17th, but beyond that, there isn't a large spate of Surrey in controlling the game's getting away from Glamorgan. That wasn't the case. Glamorgan fielded really well. They took their catches. They cut off the twos. There's very little on offer on these large boundary square of the wicket. So, yeah, for me, Glamorgan in charge halfway through this game.
Well, there we go. You can see most of the shots on the wagon wheel there. Square of the wicket on the legs, hit out into the leg side, but not that many boundaries as well. So Glamorgan did a good job. Even Jason Roy only hit 6 boundaries in his 69. 4 of them were 6s, mine, but still, you might have expected a few more for if he was really motoring. And there is his wagon wheel.
That wagon wheel will be obviously slightly manufactured because Glamorgan wasn't him hitting the ball on the leg side. Early on in the power play, there were 2 fielders out on the leg side, and then out of the power play there was 4 fielders, or definitely 3 fielders out on the leg side. So they're forcing him to hit the ball on the leg side. So it's slightly manufactured in that way. Glamorgan wanted it to look like that.
Well, they've done their job. And so 150 is the target for Glamorgan to win this Vitality Blast match, the first home match of the season against Surrey. That's the state of play so far. Surrey won 4-9 for 8. Jason Roy's 69. A little bit of help from Dom Sibley at the top. And the pick of the bowlers, Dan Douthwaite, 3 for 23. Andy Gorvin, always useful. Contributed all round and got that really important run out of Chris Jordan as well. He took 2 for 24 and a wicket apiece for Kellaway and Van der Hoogten. So we will just nip off for a quick break and we'll see you back here shortly for the Glamorgan innings.
Well, folks, just welcome the umpires back onto the pitch as we commence another lovely afternoon of cricket. Go Glam! And please keep that noise going as Surrey come onto the pitch. Everybody out.
Welcome back to Sophia Gardens. Kieran Carlson looks like we've got on strike here, the captain, and Smale. Worrell with the ball in hand, Cathedral Road end. As he starts in and slip in place. A little bit of swing on offered there. We know these white balls can swing earlier on and die away after 2 or 3 overs, so he's given himself the best opportunity in there. Looks like a sort of first 1.5 slip he's got in there rather than the second slip, and almost like a fly slip, man, inside the circle there. Modest total being chased down. As we said before the break, I think Glamorgan will be very happy with target required. 150 to win, well within their capabilities. It's how they manage themselves through the next 20 overs will determine whether they win or not.
Sorry for the delay, Mike. There's a bit of a queue at the coffee machine. Sorry about that.
Man.
I'm here. So Dan Worrell. Seems busy, high energy player, doesn't he, Kieran Carlson?
Yeah.
Really busy and sprints hard and fun to watch.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the next couple of overs. In this power play here, with 3 singles down to that sort of wide third man. I think it's a job of Glamorgan accumulating these runs rather than bludgeoning 150. Oi, ay, ay.
They're appealing. I don't think the umpire's interested. I think Surrey Phil, he may have got a little tickle on that, an inside edge, but the umpire, Mr. Shanmugam, doesn't agree.
Smell good. I think it's just flicked. I think he's flicked the trouser on the way through, but
the bowler was not convinced. I think everyone behind the stumps was convinced, but Dan Worrell himself wasn't.
But I think just on that appeal, the desperation of that appeal, they know they have to take 10 wickets to win this game.
Well, this is an amazingly offside field,
isn't it? 2 men out on the boundary. The boundary rise in the power play. A fine leg, very wide fine leg, and very wide at third man as well. It's just explained before he came back. The first slip in place there, wide-ish first slip. Almost like a fly slip,
yeah.
Fly slip. Right. So a third man up inside the circle. Interesting thinking. If it is swinging away, and they are playing shots like Smale just played there, it is going to carry to that man at fly slip.
Worrell has got a nice shape on it so far in this over.
That could be 2. Comfortable 2, Smell coming back. Good start on Glamorgan in the first here. The 5 comfortable runs coming from it. So one appeal coming from Smell, just off his trouser leg, but yep, good start.
So 5 without loss, Glamorgan. Steady start. Crowd enjoying the sunshine here on a very balmy Tuesday night here in Cardiff. Don't forget there's more Vitality Blast action here at Sophia Gardens this Friday night. For the visit of Essex, you would be very welcome to come down for another great night of cricket. So Tom Curran with that familiar kind of lolloping run in. Have to hurry, but in the end Carlson was through quite comfortably. Keeping the singles ticking. An important part of this chase, you'd think. If they can just keep that scoreboard going without taking too many risks. So Will Smale on strike now. Slip still in for Tom Curran. So what do you think of this revamped batting lineup then, Mike? Because it's a different batting lineup this season compared to what Glamorgan had last year. Some players have emerged and sort of fought their way into the side. Others are not playing in this competition. So it's Carlson, Smale, Callaway, Ingram, Cook and Tribe. That's the top 6 we're expecting.
Yeah, the obvious mission is North East. I'm really surprised North East isn't involved in the T20 campaign.
And that has been flayed over the top. Just has enough on it. And that's the first boundary to Kieran Carlson.
Yeah, a little bit of width there from Curran. Not the greatest of lengths, are they? Encouraging Kieran Carlson to throw his arms at the ball there. Just trying to get it up and over and get all of it, but he got enough of it to get to the boundary.
Sykes down there. Ollie Sykes with the despairing dive. So Glamorgan 11 without loss.
Jordan, it's too deep, isn't he? Kieran Carlson hit 2 balls straight at Jordan there at mid-off, and he's scampered through for 2 comfortable singles.
Well, that's a brave thing to do to someone who was regarded as one of the best fielders in the world.
Catches.
Oh, catches, not fielders. All right.
Fielders.
Hands like buckets, but
yeah, Jonty Rose didn't field at mid-off.
This is a good point.
Nor did Herschel Gibbs.
Point taken.
But catching, very, very good.
Sliced over third man and 4. Bit lucky, but they all count.
Yeah, Smell looking to enforce himself on Surrey. Obviously, ball's not going where we want it. He's looking to pick that up over very vacant mid-wicket area and get a top edge and going over the top of that fly slip. So third man up inside the circle. So that has brought a change in field there. They've moved the
slip's going out.
Yeah, slip out to mid-wicket. But still picking up a single. Very good over.
11 from the over.
Very good over for Glamorgan. Yeah, go back to your question. I find it very strange that Sam Northeast. Sam Northeast's been brilliant. He's been a brilliant signing and he's been a great player, and his stats suggest that he should be part of this team. Maybe the club want to go in a slightly different direction. Maybe they want to rest him, but I know for sure that Sam Northeast does not want to be rested. He wants to be playing this competition.
Well, I guess that's every sportsman, isn't it?
Want to play.
No one wants to sit out. But
to give you some idea of his stats, last year he averaged 47 in this competition. He averaged 47 in this competition, a strike rate of 133. That is brilliant stats. So if I had those stats and I got left out or was asked to rest, I'd be pretty disappointed as well.
Is the flip side as well that there are other players who need to play and putting their hand up as well, who have been...
Who's that? Who's those players? I don't know. I'd always pick the best team. I'm slightly different. The players, I'm not talking anyone down at the moment. Even everyone justifies their spot. I just think it's really hard to have stats like that. And then even in the whole competition, he averages 36 and his average at 120. Sorry, strike rate 124 and averaging 36 and a half or whatever. So it's not like he had a good campaign last year and there was a one-off. He's a very, very good player. And almost like last year when we were working together here, when things weren't going so well, it was either him or Ingram were winning games for Glamorgan. Almost like the mainstay of a...
That's better time by Smale. And that races away for 4. But that's better. Timed very nicely off his hip. And Glamorgan off to a decent start here.
Very good shot. Straight down leg side. Poor delivery. Back of the leg, straight down leg side. Especially that man. A fine leg up inside the circle. Just got a little bit of bat on it, helping on its way. Well, he's a much, much better bowler than that. Yeah, but you're right. There could be right. We want to go with these younger players, or we want to go in this direction, and the style in which you play might not suit the style. Because we've got a new coach, obviously, again for this campaign with Dawson, so he might have seen something. Director of cricket Mark Wallace might see something different. Captain might see something, and they all have the say in picking the side.
That maybe they've taken a batter out and put there's more all-rounders. Is that what you'd say?
Possibly,
Douthwaite and Hayden Kerr.
because obviously Sam does not bowl. He doesn't offer that. He was a fine fielder.
So Chris Cook, the keeper's up to 5.
Yep.
And then Kellaway, I suppose, is the big difference positionally, up to 3.
And hopefully they prove right and Glamorgan win the competition. But he's a very, very, very fine player to leave out your team.
So a few changes in the field here. We're just waiting as they push a man out deep on the leg side. 2 out on the leg side boundary now, so that means they've had to bring third man up.
Shot.
That's very well played. Slid it over third man, and that's another boundary for Will Smale. A couple of lovely shots from him in that over, and Glamorgan 25 without loss after 3.
Yeah, the reason that for me that's such a good shot, he's actually given himself a little bit of room. It wasn't far off this, and he's created just a bit of an angle, taking it off leg stump and up and over that sort of fly slip, really. Man inside the circle, third man up inside the circle. Beautiful shot. What a start for Glamorgan we've got here.
Yeah, very encouraging start. Trying to build themselves a platform here. So they're already up on the run rate. Well, sometimes that can be true in the power play. As Carlson drives, slices it off the edge. And another boundary.
Just signs of things are going Glamorgan's way here. Carlson mistiming the ball and just going over the top of Worrell there, which is another catching opportunity, and brings another 4 runs. Ball not going anywhere where Kieran Carlson wanted it to go, but he got the result he wanted, which is the boundary.
It wasn't far away, was it? So this is Nathan Smith from the Taff end.
Yeah, smart batting from Carlson there. Boundary, right, single, get up the other end. Keep that scoreboard rotating. Ringfield for Surrey here at the moment, with the 2 boundary riders out a deep square, just back with a deep square and deep point as well, well behind point there. So beyond that, we have a Ringfield up. So if the ball's up and over that infield, it will be a boundary. Doesn't seem like an obvious plan to me from Surrey with the fields they've set.
Swing and a miss. Smale looking to trouble the crowd there in front of the pavilion, but only hit thin air this time.
Good length, extra bounce, good carry, lovely bowling that. Yeah, so it's actually against Glamorgan in recent history. I think the last 7 games they've actually, basically 8 games if you want to have that 8th game, it was rained off, so the 7 times they've actually played.
Oh, that's well run by Carlson. Well run.
Ooh, I think a direct hit would have
been close.
Yeah,
it was Smale in the end who was the one who had to hurry. Carlson had run to what you would think would be the danger end, but a bit of smart thinking by the fielder and put Smale under pressure.
Just stumbled slightly when he set off.
And he's looking at the ball as well.
Out by about a yard. Direct hit would have been out. Yeah, so 7 games they've actually played. Glamorgan have only won the once, which was here. So that bodes well.
Little inside again, taking these singles really well. So they're rotating the strike really well here, Glamorgan. 6 from the over so far. Just 1 ball left. If they're 6, 7s, 8s, that will do them. With the odd bigger number. The odd over that might go for 12 or 15. That will help things along, but this looks a good start. Carlson 14 from 8 balls. Smale 16 from 15.
Got it.
Nice piece of improvisation. Well, that's very skillful and very effective.
The best ball for it as well. Very full, slightly outside off stump. Feigns to go down leg side, step inside, flicked over. Beautiful shot. Man upside inside the circle as well. Get any bat on it, it's going to race all the way to the boundary with that pace on the ball. Great start for Glamorgan, 36 for none.
So they're going at 9s and over now. As the ball is thrown to Tom Curran. This time he's swapped ends.
Just desperately searching for a wicket here, trying to get something to get the Surrey team going.
Curran from the Cathedral Road end. Running away from us here to Carlson, the Glamorgan captain. Again. No contact. Ollie Pope put his hand in the air. I think more wishful thinking there. Hoping there might just be some little tickle on it. Oh, there's a real commotion out there. I think sounds like the Beatles have just arrived in town in the 1960s. But I think it may be some school children having a brilliant time down there, enjoying the festival atmosphere down there close to the pavilion in the family stand, enjoying themselves. It is a lovely evening. Great to see so many youngsters here watching Glamorgan. And that's been flicked away beautifully off his legs, and that's 4. Great timing from Carlson. Classy shot. Whipped it off middle stump.
Just line from Tom. Down leg side. Curran. Sorry, Kieran Carlson helping it on its way. Just haven't quite got their lengths right then. Better line, better length, much better from Curran then. Keep yourself in there for a few deliveries. But it is known, Surveillance is known, you bat second down here at Cardiff. Wickets seem to calm down, things seem to get easier. If there is a little bit in the wicket, you bowl first. Usually is down here.
Full and a little bit slower. Carlson waited well for it.
And that'll be the reason why winning the toss, Morgan did. Surrey to bat first. But if you do that, you have to bowl well. You have to use facilities well. Bowl your length. And I just think the Morgan's length, especially when they bowled, was very, very good.
So again, trying to flick it over the short fine leg. Didn't make contact this time. And when you're talking about bowling the right lengths, is that bowling a little bit shorter to make the batters hit square of the wicket rather than give them things to drive to target the short boundary? That seemed to be sort of Glamorgan's tack. They were very comfortable just letting the batsman hit it square on the leg side or hit it into the deep leg field. That's pulled in the air. One bounce.
So there, for instance, Glamorgan had very few genuine pulls, or had very few cocks or pulls.
Yeah.
So nothing that bounced that short or bounced that high. Pitched in that short. And the balls that were bowled very full, Roy dealt with very comfortably and hit over the top. So they came that sort of in between, sort of hard length cricketers talk about. Going over the top of the off stump, they bowled that very, very well. And then towards the end of the innings, as we saw with Douthwaite, we'll go Yorker length and we'll bowl wide Yorkers or stump Yorkers. So I just think they controlled their length really, really well. And you're right, that hard back of length is being hit to fields who are out on the boundary. And it's not damaging you, it's only going for singles.
So Sam Curran now, left arm over, slower ball straight away. Oh, and Carlson has rocketed down. Ooh. And again, Smale must have had his heart in his mouth there for a minute.
He was in no man's land there. Direct hit from Roy. Would have been an...
Carlson's so keen to rush down. He went straight away. And I think Smell was just disappointed with his shot and was sort of bowed his head, yet he would have been gone.
Roy had a bit more time, he thought, then.
So Carlson on 19. That's a wide. Anything down the leg side?
Again, line off. Another one slipping down their side. Should have been 4 runs. And that fielder up from fine leg and centre boundary just gets some bat on it. It's slightly off the mark at the moment, Surrey, with the ball in hand.
So this is the last over of the power play. Oh, it was a good stop.
Could be 2. Yeah. Good run in.
They've run 2. Could have been 4. It was a brilliant stop, actually.
Yep, saved the 2. Saved 2 runs.
By Worrell, the big fast bowler. He did really well to stop the boundary, but good running. So the pressure feels like it's on Surrey to do something here. Glamorgan are ticking along quite nicely. And no wickets gone so far. Oh, and now that has hit Carlson. He's tried to pull that, and that looks sore. Yeah, he's dropped his bat and is shaking his glove. I think that one stung a bit. He's got a smile on his face, I think, so
He'd be
it's a
okay.
good sign.
Yeah,
Oh,
through
yeah.
his shot.
Did that get him on the elbow, maybe? I don't know. It looks like it might have done. He's okay. Quickly recovered. And another welcome dot ball. So, been quite a good over this from Sam Curran. Been a bit tighter, apart from the wide. And Glamorgan just 2 balls left of the power play now.
Oh, it's another runner opportunity, Smell.
Well, that was slightly Keystone Cops.
Still just
Smell came down there. Well, I'm sure we'll see that, but came down thinking there was a single.
set
Turned
off for a
round.
single for no reason. Ball hit straight to mid-on. Yes, no, wait, sorry. Back you go.
And gets hit by the ball for good measure, just to add insult to injury.
So we've had 3 opportunities to run him out.
Yeah. But it's probably because Carlson rushed the last one. He thought, oh, he's bound to be coming for this because he did the last one. So he thought, I'll be a bit more on it this time. and well, he's still there. That's the important thing. Short again. Pulled into without really timing it. And again, the running's a little bit harum-scarum at the moment. Smell just puts his hand up just to acknowledge that maybe they should sort of calm things down a little bit. But at the end of the power play, 47 without loss. And Glamorgan definitely ahead. What do you think of the power play, Mike? That's good. No wickets lost, I guess, and ahead of the rate as well. So
That's the key. The key is just losing no wickets and be up in and around that 45, 50 sort of area. Here, that obviously changes around different grounds, but that's pretty much where you want to be at. But the fact there's no wickets down just means for the next 5 overs you can bat completely differently, and you've got 2 batters who've been there for 6 overs and got used to the pace of the wicket, got used to the bowlers, got used to the atmosphere.
So we see spin for the first time. Yusuf Majid. Carlson hits over the top. Attack stroke, it's just going to be 1.
Very strong throw and arm right. A huge part of one of the most famous run-outs in English cricket.
Yep. He'd had a couple of practice goes in that over, didn't he? Which didn't go well, and then he got the really important one right. World Cup final, of course, we're talking about. Where he was run out by the barest of margins. So Carlson now on 23. Swings into the leg side. He's timed that beautifully. That's gone all the way for 6. And Glamorgan past 50 without losing a wicket. They're looking good. Beautiful clean strike this.
Yeah, nice shot from Carlson. He got right out in front and met the ball really early. Wonderful shot.
So Carlson now moves on to 30 with that single. Smell on 22. Partnership of 56 so far. Doing a really good job laying a platform for Glamorgan here. Smale sweeps. There's the cover down there this time. And he's done well down there. The fielder just to keep Glamorgan to a single. It's a long way to throw it from that corner.
Yep, good set.
So 11 off the over. Good over for Glamorgan. 58 without loss after 7. And the questions are with Surrey, you think? They're the ones with problems to solve here.
Just that required run rate just keeps dropping, and that gets anywhere near a 6, a run aboard, it's very comfortable. Especially if you've got all your wickets in hands, you're getting anywhere down with a 6, it starts with a 6, becomes a very easy game. So a lot of wealth of experience from Jordan here, and they're searching for a wicket, they're searching for a breakthrough. As at the moment, Glamorgan are fully in charge.
Chris Jordan, very experienced bowler. White ball specialist. And I think we can expect to see some variations from him as well. Really need a wicket here, Surrey, to get themselves back into this. Well, a flurry of wickets is what they really want. 2 or 3 would be nice. And Carlson inside edge onto his pads there. He's used a lot as a death bowler, isn't he, Chris Jordan?
Yeah.
Those sort of skills at the end.
Yeah, very good control, isn't he? Been a very, very good cricketer for a long time.
And he's gone. He's nicked it. Carlson's out for 31. And Chris Jordan strikes with just his second ball. The Glamorgan captain is caught behind by Ollie Pope. And Glamorgan lose their first wicket.
Yeah, you can see Kieran Carlson, he's sort of sloping off to the pavilion there. He'd be disappointed because I was short and wide, and he's looking to pick that ball up and hit it over the top point, which is a huge vacant area, and to get a skinny edge through to Pope, the keeper, he's disappointed because he had a lovely start with 30 runs off his 20-21 deliveries, and yeah, you can see he's just trying to pick it up and over, and he's disappointed with himself. He plays that shot very, very well. But Jordan, on he comes, experience that he has, and he's got the breakthrough to Surrey. They'd be looking, as you said, they'd be looking to back this up here, and if they can get 2 or 3 quick wickets here, they're right back in this fixture.
So new batter Ben Kellaway for Glamorgan. Been one of the stars of the championship team so far. Got lots of runs and chipping with some really useful wickets as well. So now batting number 3 in Glamorgan's T20 side. Nice looking drive to start, but straight to the fielder. It's Dom Sibley in there at short cover.
Yeah, so it's a good test for a number of these Glamorgan players, because they really will come across this sort of calibre and these sort of numbers, these sort of profile.
Well, there's no nerves there. Ben Kellaway is off the mark. with a boundary. That was a confident looking shot.
Very nice shot. Jordan, a little bit too short. 3 or 4 yards fuller than this. Very quickly onto this. Kellaway picking it up over that mid-wicket area. Actually moved a fielder back into that area. Now he was inside the inner circle, but Jordan's moving by. Adamant here, moving his square leg and his mid-wicket where he wants them.
Well, good sign of positive intent from the new batter. Ben Kellaway opens his account with a boundary.
Again.
And same area again, this time from a fuller delivery. It's going to be cut off down there by Evans, but they come back for 2. So Surrey, you think, really need to follow up that wicket of Carlson with 1 or 2 more just to put some pressure on Glamorgan to stop this being, well, I mean, it's still quite early, there's a long way to go, but Glamorgan have looked comfortable and the run rate has not been difficult to achieve so far.
Oh, yeah.
Another 2.
Bursting through the hands of Tom Curran there at backward point.
It's one of those where the crowd think it may be a catch. It was a crowd catch.
It was a crowd
burst through
catch.
the hands.
Yeah, what started as a dot ball wicket, dot ball, ended up 8 runs for Glamorgan, so actually ended up very good. It's the run rate that's breaking Surrey at the moment. It's 7, it's dropping again, just a 1 wicket down. And you're right, just picking up 1, 2, 3 wickets will push that rate back up. But at the moment, even though we just lost the captain, very much in the driving seat of this game.
So 84 runs needed from 12 overs.
Oh,
It's hit the end of the bat here, man, isn't it?
The end of the bat. You're right.
Get his chalk out.
Again, a little bit of fortune. That could have gone straight up in the air, couldn't it?
Yeah, it has had. It's been an interesting innings so far. There's been some lovely shots from Smale. Timed a couple of boundaries really beautifully. Could have been run out 3 or 4 times as well. He's not been a picture of calm, but he's still there. And that's good for Glamorgan. Plenty of batting still to come. Ingram, the big man, Glamorgan's most experienced batter, in at 4. Then Chris Cook at 5. Hits a very long ball, loves this format. And then one of the new stars of the Glamorgan side, Asa Tribe, due to come in at 6. That's brilliantly done. So seeing all the skills from Kellaway here.
So this is Kellaway. He's a good player of spin, very good player of spin. So he'd be very comfortable manoeuvring this ball around here. Like first shot he's played, reverse sweep. He's as comfortable reverse sweeping he is sweeping. He's very quick on his feet, and when he's come through the academy down here in the age group, he came with a reputation of being a very good player of spin.
So he's rushed to 12 from just 5 deliveries. Another single. Takes Glamorgan to 72. Run required, less than 7. Remember, Glamorgan chasing 150 to win. They're almost halfway. Another single. Rotating the strike well. Goes big, but it's in the air. It's not going to carry, and it's a simple catch for Jason Roy. So Ben Kellaway's entertaining innings comes to an end. He's out for 13.
Yeah, Surrey desperately looking for a wicket, and Kellaway towing it there. Short boundary down towards us in the commentary box, the Cathedral Road end, comfortable catch for Roy, moving round to his right. I And I think that's what you're going to get from Callaway at the moment and in his career. You'll have some brilliant innings, you will, and then you'll find he'll get out quite cheaply in others. And that's just part of the learning curve and turning him into a good player, into a very, very good player. And that's where we've got. He's got time on his side, and he will play a lot of cricket this year. And as he keeps on playing more and more games, he will be more and more experienced. He's getting better all the time.
So as one of the young guns departs, one of the old heads, one of Glamorgan's all-time great players, you'd have to say.
Ingram's for me, Glamorgan's greatest ever team. One day team, greatest ever, no question. His record's phenomenal for Glamorgan.
He's just going to have to wait at the non-strikers end for a little while, as that was the end of the over. Smale just takes the single. So yeah, Colin Ingram, very fine batsman, hugely experienced.
Yeah, this sort of surface might suit Ingram, as most surfaces do, but he's more measured than you think at the start of his innings, and then he expands it, and then no boundary is big enough when he gets in. So he not nudging the line, and I sound disrespectful because brilliant play, but he looked to bat on ball. He looked to get down the other end. He'll accumulate 10, 15, 20 runs, and all of a sudden he flicks a switch and he just smashes the ball out of the park.
A little bit of shape away from the left-hander, from Sam Curran, that last delivery. Tidy start to the over, right on target.
Yeah, but for me, one of the greatest we've had in the team. So yeah, I don't know how many years he's got left. So if you get the chance, come and watch him.
This is good from Curran. Ingram just having a look. Been in this situation lots of times. So mid-wicket dropping back out now. So does that mean that the ball
Fine leg.
likely to be shorter?
Possibly a slower ball, possibly shorter, possibly pushing it towards the leg side. He's looking to go for a single on the leg side, just back of a length.
Snell's got to go, but he gets there comfortably, gets the legs going, and Colin Ingram's off the mark. 75 for 2. Glamorgan are halfway to the total they need in the 10th over, I should say. Yeah, just one ball left of the first half of their innings. And so you'd say they're where they need to be. Very slow ball there from Sam Curran. Smell couldn't connect, and that's an excellent over from Curran. Building a little bit of pressure, just 2 singles from it. And at the halfway stage, Glamorgan are 75 for 2. Will Smell on 26. And Ingram there on 1. And there you can see the Glamorgan card so far. Kieran Carlson, the captain, got Glamorgan off to a good start, looked very comfortable, played some lovely shots, but he departed. Caught behind off the bowling of Chris Jordan for 31. And then Callaway, after showing us a couple of very special shots, he holed out to mid, deep, long off the bowling of Majid for 13. So a glimmer of hope for Surrey. They've got a couple of wickets. Just a lot of batting still to come as they throw the ball now to the New Zealander Nathan Smith, who slides it past Ingram's outside edge.
Try and hit that. What a delivery that is. Just nipping away from Colin Ingram. Sliding across. Wonderful.
Smith made his debut for New Zealand late last year against England. International cricketer. Looks a useful player. Oh, Ingram has hit that well. I think he's got all of it. He has. Just clears the man, and that's 6. from Colin Ingram. Effortless timing, just clipped it.
Classic Ingram, isn't it? Just trying to get bat on ball, ball nipping across him, slightly strayed onto the leg side. There we go, 6 runs. So powerful, off it goes. Unbelievable player.
Just a strong wrists or just flicks it with incredible power, as you say. Fast hands through the ball.
And the experience of
Get
down the other end. We need 7 runs. There's your 7 runs, right? So you're thinking, right, we've got 3 deliveries here, and all these are bonus runs.
So some adjustments in the field. Of course, Glamorgan have got a right-left combination now. So that means a reshuffle every time they rotate the strike as well. Wide, flayed in the air and gone. Smell has gone. He's holed out to cover, flat battered it. And another wicket for Surrey. And all of a sudden, just a slight sense of momentum change. Surrey will have 2 new batsmen now at the crease. One of them is Colin Ingram. He's going to be joined by Chris Cook. But Surrey fighting back here.
Yeah, slower ball there. Slower ball, roll his fingers over it. Roy taking a comfortable catch in the cover there, but just squeezing his hand. Didn't go in as cleanly as he was. Light breeze, clung onto it nonetheless. But you're right. Is this a slight shift towards Surrey? They're desperately looking for wickets. Jordan picking up that, flicking the domino, getting the first. Now they're 3 down at the moment. But we keep going back to it. It's only 7 and over. It's only 7. That's 7 off this over already. Still 2 more bonus balls to pick up some extra runs.
So Ingram and Cook, the experienced pair.
Here's another one I'll stick in my all-time greats. Both of these 2.
Yeah, better work to do for this pair. Yeah, run rate, as you say, Mike, that isn't
It's not an issue.
the issue. 68 runs off 55 balls should be comfortable.
Yeah, Surrey need to bowl Glamorgan out to win this game. If it goes anywhere near 20 overs, Glamorgan win.
Plenty of batting still to come for Glamorgan. So they bat all the way down, really. Andy Gorvin, a pretty handy number 11 by normal standards. That's tight bowling. That's good from Smith.
Yeah.
So the crucial wicket of Will Smale, and 82 for 3 at the end of the 11th, and a glimmer of hope for Surrey. What Glamorgan don't want is a bang bang a couple more now.
Yeah, but what we've got in there, you've got 2 very, very experienced, very good players out there, and they'll assess the situation. They've been here many, many times before. They'll understand what is required, what risk needs to be taken at what time.
So it's Dan Worrell returning to the fray from the River Taff end. He'll be bowling to Colin Ingram. It's 2 men deep on the leg side boundary, mid wicket and deep square leg, and 2 fielders in, saving 1 on the offside.
Yeah, 2 powerful hitters in here. You probably a slight change in style and scampering between the wickets. You're probably not going to get this 2 from how old these players are at the moment, but they're 2 really strong players who hit a very, very long ball.
Worrell does well to get a hand on that one, as that was racing towards the short boundary. Might have been cut off anyway, but still did well to throw a hand down to Dan Worrell. No wicket for 13 so far. Calming rate of 6, so he's been tidy. Square drive for a single. Just feels like things have calmed a little bit, but these two will probably just want to have a look. There's plenty of time. As we say, the runs shouldn't be an issue. It's just being there.
The light sort of taking full effect here in the middle of the wicket. There is that sort of twilighty, sort of the ball isn't as clear as it is either end of when the sun's out and when the lights have full effect, and we're probably just coming to the back end of.
So there's like a middle period, is there? Like the transitional period, isn't? Was that hard for your eyes to adjust?
The ball isn't quite as clear. Ball is very clear when it is dark.
Yep.
And the floodlights, and obviously in the daylight without any use of the lights, and then there's just sort of, and they're in slightly come to the back end of that twilight period here.
That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Somebody uses cameras and talks about blue light and tungsten light. Maybe it's something to do with that. Actually, the colour of the white light, if you've got a mix of daylight and a mix of orange light, maybe it's slightly different, harder for the eyes. But
and also because it's got a cool evening this evening, isn't there? And a little bit of dew, which will slightly change the wicket, will slightly change how heavy the ball will travel across the grass. And also if it's skipped across the grass, because dew will skip even quicker. And then obviously as a fielder, you know, it's it can be quite slippery. But yes, there's a little bit of give and take with the change. It's not all one-sided.
So a little bit of pressure building here in Worrell. Just a single off the first 5 balls.
Oh, that's just coming back for the 2. But very smart. 3 runs coming from
3 runs off it. It's good.
What was needed? They'll need to string together two or three of them. That's what Surrey, 2 or 3 of them. And then all of a sudden we get a little bit of school ball pressure gets put back onto Glamorgan. Still isn't quite that at the moment. They need to string those 2s or 3s or 4 runs from an over together to give them some sort of chance.
Yeah, 65 from 48 balls is what Glamorgan require. 7 wickets in hand. So lots of batting to come and some really big strikers. Dan Douthwaite, watching lots of videos of him whacking it this week.
And we say history is against Glamorgan in this fixture. Just the 1 win from the 7 previous encounters. But we're saying that 1 win did come from here in Sapphire Gardens. So they're, they're hoping here. But at the moment, my money's on Glamorgan. The oldest didn't slow down. They're not in trouble. It's just the run rate slightly slowed down. That's all that's happened.
Another single. Colin Ingram, he moves into double figures. Been steady from Chris Cook at the other end so far. Just feels like he's having a look, doesn't want to take a risk. This would be the wrong moment to throw his wicket away. Just to have a look. Assess the pace of the pitch. Try and get himself in. There's enough time. Works it into the leg side. Always going to be one out there. So in that, just trying to be calm, I suppose. Is it calm and
I think
play the ball on its merit? Think about what areas you want to try and score in. That's full. That's splendid. That could be out. It should be out. It is out. Colin Ingram departs for 10. Caught on the deep cover boundary. And all of a sudden, Surrey are imposing a little bit of pressure on Glamorgan. This run chase that looked so comfortable just 20 minutes ago now looks a little bit harder.
Yeah, not required. I was just going to say Glamorgan can afford to have 2 or 3, not bad overs, but going at 4 or 5, it won't affect the outcome. So Ingram just give himself a little bit of room, slicing that ball. Obviously, this isn't where you want to do. He wanted that to go to the left of that fielder into a sort of extra cover area, but it's slid off the bat face, and it's ended up square than he wanted to go. He wanted that to go extra cover, and slightly on the angle, maybe the bowler coming across the left-hander, it slipped off and ended up there at deep point. Almost, he's 6 foot away from going for a boundary. It wasn't the case.
So Glamorgan lose their 4th wicket as Colin Ingram departs for 10. The new batsman is Asa Tribe, who's been in great form, getting runs in the championship and plenty of runs in the second team and in the university. It's academy cricket, the early part of the season, but this is another challenge for him. Straight off the mark, runs it down to 3rd man and gets up the other end. So 88 for 4 now, Glamorgan, with 1 ball left of the 13th over. 62 required from 43. So the rate definitely creeping up a little bit, but still plenty of wickets in hand. But they probably need to put a partnership together, really. Well, the last 3 or 4 overs have definitely been Surrey's.
Yeah, but they needed them. They needed them to give himself a chance coming back into this game. It's 4 down. 89 run. Jordan still bowling from the River Taff end. He all started with the Jordan, didn't it? That sort of
that sort of little
that edge,
loose cut edge, and then that's often the way wicket. It just they fall in clusters rather than in ones. It's Chris Jordan coming back again. Maybe they see him as the go-to man just to get wickets at important times, and you feel like if another one went now, well, it would be more in the balance, the game.
Slightly more in balance, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. There's certain players you like coming in slightly later than with too much to do. So don't find strike of the ball, but right at the end.
Yeah.
Wins the game now rather than coming in too early.
Yeah. Chris Cook on to 5. Just doing all the singles so far.
Jordan just signalling to his fielder there at deep mid-wicket to come inside the circle. So he's bringing him inside here. So he's got his mid-off, extra cover, backward point, and very close mid-wicket now inside the circle.
And that's very wide.
Very wide. Looking to angling the ball in. To trying to squeeze him. But getting it slightly wrong. Very much on the outside.
Yeah. That even pitched in the wrong side of the pitch, didn't it? It didn't come out right, that one. So good test for the young Glamorgan batter, this one. Asa Tribe.
Oh!
I think he's been dropped. Was that an inside edge?
No, it didn't quite catch. I think there was an inside edge, but I think the replay will show us. I think it bounced well short of Pope. And in fairness to Pope, he got half a glove on, because you see many of those sort of
fly away to the boundary.
Yeah, fly away to a short boundary as well. So slightly angled in, inside edge, drop short. Pope got a good hand on that and saving a couple of runs for his side.
So uses at one of his lives there, Asa Tribe.
Skillful ball from Jordan, is he?
Yeah,
slightly swing, looking to ball angle that ball into off stump. Get it wider. There we go.
And he's bowled him.
There we go.
That's impressive. Jordan is having a big impact on this game, and Asa Tribe has only lasted 3 balls. He is on his way for 3.
What I like about that from Jordan is the first time I've seen this Surrey bowling performance, I've actually seen a bit of a plan. You're bringing him mid-wicket in. I'm not going to give you a single there, but if you get it past him, you play a shot. I've got a deep square out and I've got a long on back. His fine leg was back as well, but he's angled the ball in, cramping up the batsman. Could he get an edge? He got an edge the previous ball. Is he going to miss it? He's going to hit the stumps. Really good bowling, skillful bowling from Jordan.
Yeah, good stuff, showing all his skill and all his experience here. And again, a little bit of momentum swing. Surrey know they're now in this game. And it is Dan Douthwaite coming in at 7 for Glamorgan, 93 for 5 now.
Yeah, what we know we get from Dan Douthwaite is that we know he can hit a hard ball. You know he can hit a long ball. Has he got the control to go with as well to see his team through?
Well, the rate creeping up towards 9 and over now. It just feels as if the pressure is building on Glamorgan now. I mean, it is 9 and over.
Yeah, we talked earlier about stringing some overs together. So it looks like Surrey may have got 2, 3, possibly 4 overs strung together, pushing that rate up, putting a bit of scoreboard pressure back on the batsman. And like you said, they need wickets to do that, and that's exactly what they've done.
Well, it's going to need a good partnership or a good innings from someone here in the Glamorgan side. What was looking comfortable is now not looking comfortable at all. Douthwaite drives, bursts through the hands of the man at point. He gets a single, he hit that hard.
Yeah, Tom Curran misfielding there. Need those things to go your way. Need to stop any possibility of any runs.
So Cook and Douthwaite, 2 batsmen who can clear the boundary very comfortably when they need to, but will they be allowed to?
Yeah, 5 from the over so far. Wicket in here as well. Plenty of time left in this game.
Chops out into the offside for a single. And at the end of the 14th over, Glamorgan now 95 for 5. And this game, you feel, is very much in the balance. It's there to be won by both sides.
Cook, he'll be talking Douthwaite through this, what he wants from him. So there's a role to be played, and both these batsmen will have different roles in this situation. Just looking at the worm there, we'll just slip behind, not far away at all. Nothing to concern Glamorgan players. Good ball strikers coming in, so that won't concern them at this point in time. Plenty of 6 overs left, and as we know from both these batters out there, they can finish games very quickly. There's no reason to panic if you're a Glamorgan supporter tonight.
Surrey turn to another very experienced international bowler, Tom Curran. Chris Cook watchful, just accumulating slowly here, biding his time in the hope that he can make it count. The other end, Dan Douthwaite. Oh, and Tom Curran is limping. He may have pulled something here.
Yeah, he rolled his ankle there, is he? Yeah, slower ball from Curran there. He has got that in his arm. He's got a very good at the back of the hand slower ball, which for me is always the best. Always the best slower ball, because that arm comes over as quick as their normal delivery, but very hard to see and very hard to pick.
I don't know whether he's got a little ankle problem, but there's a suggestion of a little bit of a limp there.
Yeah, changing field there. Mid-off has gone back. Third man coming up inside the circle. Point, third man, cover. Fine leg inside the circle. Everyone else is out on the boundary. Again, slower delivery. That could have been out the back of the hand without Douthwaite went to pick the ball up there and Curran
kicked out of his hand.
Yeah, leave it alone, mate. It's my ball. Kick it away from him. Go and fetch if it's your ball.
Well, these games where it's in the balance bring the levels of competitiveness out of these top cricketers.
Yeah.
Shown in those little ways, little individual battles, words exchanged, looks and glances to try and put on a bit of pressure. That's short. Douthwaite pulls well and gets all of it for 4 runs. So a much needed boundary for Glamorgan. They haven't had one for a little while. And actually Dan Douthwaite played that really well, controlled it.
Didn't he?
And timed it almost better than it looked when it came off the bat, and she just really raced away.
Bounce. I just don't think it's that kind of wicket. I just don't think short on this wicket helps you in any shape or form. It hasn't helped anyone tonight. Hasn't got you any wickets. Certainly hasn't stopped any runs. He's bowled those slower balls nice and full. He's only gone for a single on 3 deliveries and goes short and it goes to the boundary. There we go. Slower ball. Dot ball. Stick to your plan.
It's well footed by Jason Roy in at short cover. Cutting off the single. Even he is walking gingerly as well, throwing himself on the floor. Not as easy as it used to be.
I think he's disappointed. He's rolling around on basically the wicket. He's just like, what am I doing? But again, stop 2 runs for his team.
Dan Douthwaite's gone big. That looks big. He's got that. It's huge. Oh, and put down in the crowd. Big over this for Glamorgan. 11 from it, and they'll hope this could be the launch pad now.
Slipped on really nicely, giving himself a little bit of room to the leg side. Curran following him onto leg stump, and Douthwaite up to task and helping that all the way to the crowd. He's put a catch down.
Oh, he's disappointed with that in the crowd in the front row.
First drop catch we've had all night.
That's a big hit though, isn't it?
Huge
that has gone
hit.
a long way. You look where the boundary is.
It's huge.
The boundary rope is way inside the fence, and he not only easily cleared the boundary, he easily cleared the fence. That's huge. And much needed runs for Glamorgan. 106 for 5, 44 from 30, and that really has helped a little bit. That feels like it's just brought them a little bit closer, taken a little bit of pressure off, but the rate's still 8.8 per over needed. And so these two, you think, need to stay for a while.
Big over this. Can Glamorgan back up, back-to-back good overs? Oh,
dropped.
What?
That would have been a ridiculous...
Oh. And Sibley looks to take all stumps out. Jaunty
Cook has
Rhodes
made it.
styly.
He could have went in with a foot slide, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he go feet first rather than the Rhodes head first dive?
I think he's looking for the right. This would have been an unbelievable caught and bowled. Low. Oh,
yeah.
He's hit it hard, low. Sibley comes in, picks it up, and then takes it out with his knee. And then he's asked the umpire for a run out.
Yeah, he's just slid. He's slid through the stumps there with, I think, one leg either side of the stumps. I'm not sure the ball made any contact. He would have had to take the stump out, wouldn't he?
But those small margins, if that was caught then, that would have been the end of Cook.
Yeah.
That would have swung heavily towards Glamorgan. Could the previous over, that big 6, drop catch, could the game have just swung Glamorgan's way?
Well, it would have been one of the great caught and bowls if he'd hung on to it, because he walloped it, did Chris Cook. This is a good contest, this.
Yeah, Douthwaite will keep swinging. He'll keep trying to hit that ball out the ground.
Yeah, he does have effortless power. He won the last match with a almost a funny little blocked 6 that seemed to sail straight back over the bowler's head. He's got real power when he hits it, but Glamorgan need him to stay there, just to face a few more balls. He's only faced 8. I'd like him to face 15 or 20 plus. So little adjustments in the field.
That's the length. That's length. You're going to go short, that's how short you need to be. Any higher than that, I think, offers easy runs. I think that sort of chest height going through. What has he got, Jordan? Can he calm Douthwaite down? Just the 1 run coming off it so far. Changing the field. He's dropped his fine leg from the inner circle back into the boundary. He's got a wide position. He's brought his 3rd man up inside the circle. So on the leg side, everyone is back on the bound. The 4 fields are back on the rope. Because he knows that's Douthwaite's target. That's where he's looking to hit Jordan for a boundary. Oh, no. Very much down leg side. Jordan, his hands up, apologises to his captain. But he's looking. But I think his plan there was angle into the leg side, try and eventually end up on sort of middle stump, but he started way too straight and ball ended up far, far down leg side.
So I guess one of the keys of the bowler is not to bowl a predictable ball. Try to keep the batsman guessing.
The field he set, he's pretty much telling the batsman what he's going to do. He hasn't obviously told him what sort of pace and sort of line, but he's going to angle it in again and angle
well
it in.
hit. Has he got it in the gap?
No. Just the one run. That's exactly what Jordan's looking for. Angle the ball in slightly back of a length. Good pace. Did Douthwaite for a little bit of pace there. He spliced it out to the boundary rider. But he is saying, look, I want you to hit me on the leg side. Angled in.
Well, to get a boundary on the leg side, the placement and the power have both got to be right. But
the difference between trying to hit someone like Jordan than it would be someone like a Gorvin, playing with Glamorgan, there's pace on the ball, Jordan. Gorvin, you've got to add pace. It's very difficult.
Oh, Matt has shot out on the leg side.
Yeah,
I mean, on the offside. I think it was intended to go the other way.
Yeah, he's bowling good pace here, Jordan. He's done Cook for a bit of pace there as well. Because he's late on that. He spliced that out to the fielder at deep point. So yeah, he's got his tail up here, Jordan. 3 singles on the wide, so 4 from the over. Can he finish the over well? Very similar to last over. The last ball went for 6. Can this be a dot ball to calm Glamorgan down, get Surrey back into this fixture? No.
Perfect swings.
I think it's going all the way. What a bit of fielding.
Just the 2.
Evans out in the boundary there, diving round, saved a couple of runs for his team. A reasonable over from Jordan.
Yeah, so he's 2 for 20, showing all his skill and experience. Chris Jordan now, he's got 1 over left to bowl as well. And this match very much in the balance. There's the equation, 38 to win from 4 overs. 38 off 24 balls.
Who's your money with, Ash? What are you saying?
Well, obviously, in a tight game, it's with Glamorgan, but that's not a confident prediction. I'd say that someone is going to have to do something quite special, have a big over with some clean hitting. I think we've probably gone past the singles and 2s. I think we need a few boundaries here.
Oh, that's such a good ball. He's bowled 3 of them tonight. It's so slow. He reminds me a Seamer version of Snape. Do you remember Jeremy Snape?
I do.
He used to play for Northampton's Gloucester. He finished his career.
Yeah.
He may have got the odd cap in there, one-day cap.
Didn't he become a sports psychologist?
Yes, still is.
Yes.
There was no pace on it whatsoever, and it's very similar to what Curran's doing here. So skillful.
Yeah, Cook did well to wait for that. Wait for it to arrive. He could have been through the shot a couple of seconds early.
And again.
Oh, and that's in the air. Now that should be a chance. Should be a chance. It's Jordan.
Oh,
no mistake.
That's such high class from Sam Curran. The ball, 2 of those balls, absolutely perfect. He knows what Douthwaite's going to do. He's hit into the long boundary. One of the best catches, your words, not mine, in the world underneath it. That is brilliant bowling, brilliant game plan from Surrey, showing their class.
Yeah, straight into the bucket hands of Chris Jordan this was. Very slow, a real loop on it. And just hit it high, didn't have the distance. And a man of Chris Jordan's calibre will not drop those. He's having a big effect on this game.
And I tell you for why it's so hard to hit that ball, because Sam Curran he's not slow. He's slippery, he's good pace. So the difference between his normal pacey delivery and that is huge.
Yeah.
You have to completely change your shot, change your momentum as a batting in your shot.
How is he making it so slow? What's the disguise? I mean, that's what interesting, because that's the thing. When bowlers bowl a slow ball, you don't want to telegraph it.
But it's so late. His arm, every run, the run-up's the same. His arm coming over just last minute. He slows his arm down. But where he places that moon ball, we're going to call it, is absolutely perfect.
So Hayden Kerr.
So there we go. The difference between that ball there, which is normal pacey delivery, and if he mixed up with a moon ball now, it's so hard to adjust.
Well, what a moment this is for Glamorgan's latest Australian signing, Hayden Kerr.
Make a name for himself here with the bat.
He really could. He has a chance, but feels like the pendulum is swinging Surrey's way, and it's going to need something good to swing it back in Glamorgan's favour.
Sorry.
We hadn't noticed he had a runner. So that panicked us there. It may have panicked you at home as well. There is a runner out on the pitch.
Callaway.
And Hayden Kerr has a runner. For a moment we just thought there was a calamitous run out about to happen. So we've got Ben Callaway, as you'll see when we get back onto the main pitch cam.
I wonder how injured he is then. That doesn't bode well, is it? When you're
Doesn't bode
seamers.
well. Cook hits in the air. I think this is going to be out. It is. And that is a massive blow for Surrey. They really have pulled this game back, and it's Sam Curran with brilliant bowling. Now gets rid of another danger man, Chris Cook. And you have to say Glamorgan's challenge is starting to fade here. They're now 114 for 7. The run rate is climbing over 10, and you have to say that Surrey are in the box seat.
Huge wicket. Huge wicket. He's won so many games for Glamorgan in this position. Sliding across the right-hander. Cook slipping off the face of his bat, ending up to the fielder out in the deep. Chain. Van der Houten to the wicket. We have got that confusion of the extra runner out there. Who's making the call? Who is it?
All of a sudden, this looks difficult. 36 off 19 needed. So it's climbing up to 2 a ball. We're not far from that now. And there's so much experience and skill in this Surrey bowling attack. Momentum massively with them now.
That is high class from Curran. 2 runs, 2 wickets. That's why he gets paid a lot of money to play around the world in this format. Brilliant player.
So at the end of the 17th, just 3 overs to go. Glamorgan 114 for 7 now. And Glamorgan have it all to do. It is going to take some clean hitting, you would think. Something quite brilliant to pull this game back. The platform was there, but Surrey have taken wicket after wicket after wicket at regular intervals, and that has just slowed things down for Glamorgan.
Started with this man, didn't it? Getting Kieran Carlson now. Can he close the game out in his last over? Another wicket. A real low-scoring over, really, just put another nail in Glamorgan's coffin tonight.
So it's Hayden Kerr, the Australian, obviously not moving well as he's got a runner. What can he do? Drives over cover, that's a good shot.
That's a great start.
And that's 4.
That's exactly what Glamorgan need. A little bit of momentum. What will Jordan's reply be to that? Well done, Kerr, just slightly dancing down the wicket. Little bit of room. Beautiful shot over extra cover. A couple of bounces, ran away. 4 runs.
Timed it really well. So challenge laid down. Jordan's had the answers so far.
No change in the field. I think that's just a run off the glove there. It slightly looks like he's swinging the ball in there, which is amazing, really. In the 17.2 overs gone in this game, and
with a white ball, yeah. So we'll keep giving you the equation. If you're eating your tea, or you've got it on in the corner of the room, or you're doing something else, we'll keep telling you what the situation is. 31 to win off 16 balls Glamorgan needs. So we're pretty much in the 2 runs a ball territory. In the leg side, that's not going to go for a boundary. It's just going to be 1. Tough situation for a tail ender, even quite a good tail ender as Van der Houten is. He can certainly bat.
Yeah, again, another powerful hit to the ball. Can hit a clean ball, can found the boundary ropes. No hope lost at all for Glamorgan here. They're in this. And I just feel a win against Surrey, this stage of the season, just gives you so much confidence moving forward. So there's a lot on this game. possibly 2 scrambled here. No, just a single.
And even the calling with the run just seems like a little bit more complicated.
It is
They're a long
awkward.
way away from each other.
It is awkward. Who's calling?
Yeah.
Where's your confidence? I mean, but what they have got is Callaway's very quick between the wickets.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just does add a little bit of confusion.
You're communicating at an angle that's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Rather than sort of looking directly at the other end, you have to sort of look over towards square leg and try and have a shout yes or no to your colleague who's 30 metres away.
Play.
Out into the leg side again.
Runs.
That's a very welcome boundary. Well played, Tim van der Horsten. And that's got the crowd going here.
Still in this. 100% still in this. Looking back here, 13 balls to go. 25 required.
So they could really do with another boundary or something good off this last ball, because of course they need.
I think
The
they're
rate will
right.
go up even if they only get 11 here.
I think they're in a good position. In the back of my mind, I'll be thinking, right, can I get down to 13? Can I get 13 off the last over? Something in that sort of area. So, absolutely fine. What you don't want to do is lose another wicket.
No.
So you take a single off this, I'll be very happy.
Jordan's final ball.
Oh, no.
That's been hit in the air. It's looping down to the man. No mistake. And Glamorgan lose another wicket just when there was a glimmer of hope, and maybe that hope has now been extinguished. Is Tim van der Horsten is the man to go.
Oh, I mean, you're breaking me. It's breaking me. Taking it in. Good bowling. Take nothing away from Jordan. Beautifully angled in. He's got the man back for that shot. So take credit. Take nothing away from his skillful bowling there. I just think possibly a single and then take it in, and you need 12 off this and possibly 13 off the last, or something along that sort of equation, because you've got good ball strikers out there. You're still in the game. I just think losing wickets, just that scoreboard pressure is adding up at the moment. 25 to win from 12.
So Jordan finishes with 3 for 31, and now it's Sam Curran, incredible figures of 2 for 8 from 3 overs. There's that slower ball again, hit out towards mid-wicket. I think it's going to be 2. Jordan scrambles round.
So I'd be thinking, right, Glamorgan now, worst case, if I was Glamorgan, like, obviously no wickets. We don't know what's that. 10 runs from this over. It gives us 15 to win off the last. All of a sudden you hit a 6, all of a sudden, right, we're in this. Game on. Can you get 10 off this over? Give yourself a chance in the last over.
It's Hayden Kerr, the Aussie, swings into the mid-wicket area. Straight to Chris Jordan. And with that, you'd think that Glamorgan's hopes have gone. It's that combination, Curran and Jordan. They're the 2 game changers. And they're the ones who have dragged this game back in Surrey's favour from an unpromising situation when Glamorgan look well set, and it's their wickets and their control and their variation.
Back of the hand from Sam Curran there. Another variation on his slower balls. The armory that he's got is just so skillful, the fact he can force the batsman to hit them where he wants them to hit the ball. He wants them to bowl it there. He knows that's a long boundary. Best catches around catching the ball. Skillful, but still, target. Can we get 10 off this? Can you get 10 off this and take it into the last? Take it right down to the wire.
So number 11, Andy Gorvin, and Mason Crane, the 2 smaller men in this team, both can bat, but you think not necessarily the power hitters of the team. But let's see how they get on. Sam Curran, that slower ball again, so beautifully bowled. He's just landing it on the same spot every time, isn't it? That's very well run.
Well done. Well
Back
done.
for 2.
Well
It's
done.
good stuff.
Very smart cricket. Well done, Gorvin. Well done.
So 129 for 2. 21 needed from 9 balls. And it looks like it's going to be one of Worrell, Tom Curran or Nathan Smith to bowl the last over.
Slight change in the feed. Fine leg going back on the boundary from the inner circle. Bringing his cow corner deep mid-wicket in. Deep square. So we've got deep wicket inside on the edge of the inner circle. Trying to stop that. 2.
Can Glamorgan get themselves a target to chase from the final over? That's 20 needed now from 8. If they could get a couple of the boundaries here and just get themselves into the sort of mid-teens or something to chase 13, 14, 15, well, you think, well, there maybe is a little bit of hope.
100%. The boundary is priceless, but even a couple of 2s, We're still in the game. Oh, has he got the gap? Yes, he has.
That's very well played. Is it going to run away? There's a chase on. The field is coming across. The ball wins. Vital boundary for Glamorgan. It's Crane. Skillfully played. And this Glamorgan crowd suddenly sense a bit of hope once again. 16 required now off 7 balls. Well, he played that well. That was delicate, wasn't it?
Skillful. Played that very well.
Well, Cohen's been brilliant. This is his last ball. 3 for 17 at the moment. Can he finish with a flourish?
Single, well done.
It's going to be a single. So, Sam Curran finishes with figures for 3 for 18. It's been brilliant stuff, an exhibition of variation of pace and line and bounce. Glamorgan need 15 from the final over to win their first home Vitality Blast match of the season. Where's your money, Mike? I think if I had to put my mortgage on it, I'd say Surrey, but desperate for Glamorgan to do this.
Yeah, this will sound very obvious, but the first 2 deliveries of this is so important. A boundary off the first, bang, game right in with Glamorgan here. Here we go. Single dot ball, difficult.
Well, it's Tom Curran who's going to bowl it.
Tom Curran, very good slow ball, back of the hand, very good death bowler. Can find a Yorker length, but you never know. Bit of a thick edge, you never know. Squirt went through the boundary. Just the single. Jordan happy enough to give that away. Stand on the edge of the circle at mid-off. Having a conversation. He's moved himself because probably he'll go out on the boundary. Yeah, Jordan just moving himself to the covers now where he was at mid-off. Quick conversation. Curran brothers, they've been here before. They've done this many times.
So Gorvin's got to take a risk, you'd think here. Where are the vacant? There's a...
I think he's going to ramp. I'd ramp him.
Or lofting it over cover if the ball's there. What's he going to do?
Single.
Okay, so...
Edge of the bat. Right. Something...
13 off 4. So, boundaries. So we're going to need at least 3 boundaries here, you'd think, or 2 big ones. 3 or 4 very good scoring shots needed. They need to clear the boundary somewhere. 13 to win off 4. Mason Crane on strike. Tom Curran the bowler.
Oh, is that a wide? Is that it's a wide ball?
It's been given.
Right, still in the game.
An extra run, of course, and an extra ball. So 12 from 4 now, the equation. Makes things a tiny bit easier.
It's not been a good delivery tonight, is it, that short one? Slower balls have been brilliant. Hard back of a length has been brilliant. It's been very rewarding.
So what can Mason Crane do? He's 6 from 3 balls. That's well bowled, followed him, cramped him. Just the one. So 11 from 3. Andy Gorvin has to find the boundary with this, you would think.
Field set, because we can't see on the screen here. Fine leg up inside the circle. Deep square out, mid-wicket out, long on out. Curran's having a chat. Bowler, mid-off, up inside. Cover, Jordan, inside the circle. Deep point, and you've got third man inside and backward point inside the circle. Back of the hand, slower ball.
Well bowled.
Ball's gone out, deep point. Do they come back for the second? No, just the single. Very well bowled, Tom Curran. Single, wide, single. This is high-class bowling.
10 off 2, a 6 and a 4 to win the game. That's what it is now. The Curran brothers are having a chat, working out their plan.
Boundary.
Sam has bowled so well. I think he's probably chipping in his suggestions to his brother. But let's see.
Boundary for me is a ramp.
It's theirs to lose now, you think, Surrey.
Oh, that's good bowling. Probably come back.
Swung to the leg 2. And I think, unless there's a wide or a no ball, Glamorgan's challenge is going to fall short. 8 needed off 1 ball. And so you'd think the priority hit, bowler legal delivery, and Surrey have won. Well, they fought back brilliantly. Credit to the bowlers, and there are some games when you really realise the difference between sort of good players and top-class players, and Sam Curran and to an extent Chris Jordan have just impacted the game in a big way. So last ball of the innings, Tom Curran to Mason Crane. It goes straight through, he's out, he's edged it, and that is that. Surrey have won by 8 runs, and Glamorgan fall to defeat in their first home game of the season. It's Surrey's first win of the competition this year as well, and they'll be delighted in the way they fought back into the game. Excellent in particular from Sam Curran and Chris Jordan. They were the ones who made the difference. And that's the first game that Glamorgan have lost for a little while. So that'll feel disappointing when they put themselves in such a good situation, Mike.
Yeah, nail on the head there. You've got good cricketers and you've got world-class cricketers. And Sam Curran, as we speak now, is a world-class one-day operator. And he was the difference and put the squeeze on Glamorgan tonight. Jordan got it going, got the captain out, and that sort of flicked the domino for beyond that. As soon as there was a bit of scoreboard pressure regards to run rate, Glamorgan seemed to struggle tonight. The first half of this game, the way they bowled, the way they fielded, I thought was excellent. The way they've gone about operating, trying to chase down this total, slightly clumsy at times. Could they have done with someone like Sam Northeast to steady the ship and bring them home? I don't know. Who knows? We'll never know. But I just feel someone like that with that sort of experience possibly, I'm not saying would possibly be the difference on beating a team like Surrey. But saying that, they're 8 runs away from beating a very, very good T20 team.
Yep, it was a good contest, but Surrey in the end showed their class, and it was the individuals with all that experience in this format of the game, top-notch international cricketers whose services are sought after all around the globe. And Sam Curran just proved what a fantastic cricketer he is. 3 for 18 from 4 overs. Fantastic bowling, and I think you would have to say that he probably was the difference tonight. And a very, very impressive piece of bowling from him. And so, Mike, yeah, I mean, is your sense then not to be too disappointed? I mean, I know sometimes, you know, these games can swing on small things, but they did a lot of the game right, didn't they, Glamorgan? They bowled quite tidily, controlled the game. Surrey's innings never really felt like it was getting away from Glamorgan.
Yeah.
And you'd say the first half of the batting innings felt similar. They were in control, but then that last 10 overs was definitively Surrey's.
No, I think Glamorgan played really, really well tonight, and there's no shame in losing to a team with so many international cricketers in at all, and become really, really close. We came an over away from winning the game, or maybe 4 or 5 balls away from, or 2 less wickets down, where you've got more genuine batters out there seeing a game home. So loads of positive. Bowled really well. Fielded really well. Took all the catches. Stopped loads of sort of twos in the boundary. So we were brilliant in that first half. Second half, yeah, we rode our luck slightly at the top of the innings, but that's the nature of T20 cricket and one-day cricket, and you deserve your luck as you go. But then just as a squeeze came from Surrey, okay, when that squeeze came on, it was Jordan, it was Sam Curran, it was Tom Curran. Good cricketers, you know. But they come very close. But that was the difference. That is the difference at this sort of level. When players like that are involved, they can control the game and they bring games home. And that's why they're paid so much to play this sport. And unfortunately, Glamorgan at the back end of this fixture, but I think there's loads of positive moving forward in this campaign, and they can hold their heads up high and go into the game on Friday against Essex with a lot of confidence on the home patch as well. So no shame in what happened tonight. Yeah, they've lost the game, but I think they'll take a lot of positives from it.
Well, come on down and get behind the boys on Friday night if you can. I know they would love your support here at Sapphire Gardens. And of course, it's early days in the competition. Glamorgan have only played 2 matches. They've won 1, lost 1, so lots more cricket to play. The qualifiers won't be decided at this early stage, and Surrey themselves are in the same position. So let's just quickly review what happened there. And you can see it was Carlson and Smale who got Glamorgan off to a really good start there. Carlson, playing fluently and freely for 31. Smale, a slightly sketchy innings, but he did strike the ball beautifully on a couple of occasions to give Glamorgan a really good platform. But then it was Jordan who got rid of Carlson, caught behind by Ollie Pope, and then wickets started to tumble at regular intervals. No partnership really came together and could stick and bat 4, 5, 6 overs together from that point on, and the wickets continued to tumble. And it was Sam Curran, really. He was the man who made the difference, bowling some beautiful slower balls in particular to induce batters. It was Douthwaite and Kerr to hit the ball in the air and give their wickets away. So you have to say he is probably our man of the match up here in the commentary box. Glamorgan falling 8 runs short in the end. And there's the bowling figures. Sam Curran, definitely the top performer. 3 for 18 from his 4 overs, of excellent economy rate of just 4.5 as well. And wickets 2 for his brother Tom. Majid took 1 as well. And Chris Jordan 3 for 31. Showed all his experience as well as taking a couple of excellent catches. So there's the summary. Surrey win by 7 runs. Jason Roy, the star with the bat for them, with 69. He didn't really get out of third gear, but still made a beautiful 69 with a few very clean hits straight down the wicket. But Glamorgan, despite being in it early on, once the rate got up to 9-10 in the second half of their innings, they fell away, and it was Sam Curran, one of the top white ball players in the world, you'd have to say, who made the difference tonight with brilliant bowling, 3 for 18, giving Surrey victory by 7 runs. I'd say thank you very much indeed for joining us here from Sapphire Gardens this evening. We hope you've enjoyed the match as much as we have. If you're close by, please do come down here on Friday night to enjoy the action in person. Essex are the visitors for the next home match here in the Vitality Blast, and we'd love to see you here to get the weekend underway. My thanks to Mike Powell for your expert insight, and thank you to you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. We'll see you next time. From us in Sapphire Gardens, thanks for watching and goodbye.